Chapter 668. Yes, yes. Qing Zhongfan didn't dare to disobey. His scalp tingled as he picked up senior brother Niu, who died tragically, and quickly ran out. He never dreamed that senior brother Niu, who was at the peak of the 10th level, would actually die like this. He was killed by a seemingly peak 2nd level devil master. Who the F***ck would believe this? No, Xiaoqun was definitely not a 2nd level devil master. He might be a hidden devil general. That must be it. After running away, Xiaoqun let out a sigh of relief. The battle just now seemed easy, but in fact, it was a narrow victory. Without a flying sword, Xiaoqun couldn't do anything to this senior brother Niu, and it was very likely that he would also be unlucky. Brother, are you okay? Xiaoqun just turned around and heard Xiao Zhao's voice. A white figure rushed into his arms and hugged him tightly. Xiao Xiao, my body is covered in blood. I dirted your clothes. Although Xiao Chen's injuries had not completely healed, in order to not let his family worry, he naturally acted as if nothing had happened and joked. I was scared to death just now. I didn't dare to rush in, afraid that I would cause trouble for you. Xiao Xiao was really scared, especially when she saw Xiaoqun being sent flying by senior brother Niu. She almost fainted. It's nothing, just a few clowns. It's not worth mentioning. Xiaoqun smiled and said, your brother, I, have endured for so many years. When I erupt, how can I be stepped on by others? It's always me stepping on others. However, when he said this, Xiaoqun was somewhat puzzled. That young Jiannan was really awesome. Not only did he level up like a rocket, but he was also not afraid of his underworld fire. This senior brother Niu was obviously good at water martial techniques, but it wasn't as easy as Yang Jiannan. Hee, I knew it. Brother, you're the best. Xiao Xiao couldn't help but smile after hearing this. Xiaoqun, you're a general now? Also, have you been to the Hakanamada desert? Xiao Yuanshan looked at Xiaoqun with some surprise. No, I'm just an ordinary demon master at the peak of the 2nd layer. However, I have some methods that allow me to fight enemies of a higher level. Xiaoqun did not put on an act in front of his family. Instead, he told them the truth. I went to the Hakanamada desert. I don't think father died there. So, I will continue to search. Sigh, it was Xiao Feng who went around looking for elixirs because you couldn't cultivate. If I had known that you had been enduring, why would I have gone through so much trouble? Now you still have to go find him. Xiao Yuanshan could not help but sigh. Grandpa, did you really think I was at this level before? When I was kicked out of the Xiao family, I was indeed just an ordinary person. My current strength was just a fortuitous encounter. If I had been like this at the beginning, I wouldn't have had to endure it. How could the Qing family threaten me? Xiaoqun couldn't help but laugh. That's true. Xiao Yuanshan was stunned and then realized that he had thought too much. Xiaoqun, now that you're back, you won't leave, right? Xiao Hai was a little happy. Since your strength is so high, no one will dare to bully the Xiao family in the future. It's true that I'm high, but I found that the enemies we have to face are not only at the level of the aristocratic families, but also at the level of the martial arts world. And my strength is really nothing in the martial arts world. Xiaoqun smiled bitterly. Second uncle, I will continue to look for clues about my father and the mastermind behind this. If these things are not solved, we will not be able to live in peace in the future. What you said makes sense. We can't do anything about your father's matter because we aren't strong enough. We can only rely on you to solve this secret. Xiao Hai nodded. But he won't leave during the new year, right? That shouldn't be the case, but I have to go back to the villa when I have time. Xiaoqun was a little embarrassed. Then, I have to visit Tang Tang. Then how would you have time to play with me? Before Xiao Hai could say anything, Xiao Xiao was already unhappy. Xiao Xiao, Xiaoqun has something important to do. Furthermore, I didn't play with you during the past New Year's. Xiao Hai glared at Xiao Xiao and reprimanded. What's the point of looking for a woman? Xiao Xiao muttered unhappily. What's wrong with you? Xiao Zhao's words made Xiao Hai blush, not because of Xiao Qin, but because he felt that Xiao Xiao shouldn't talk back. Brother, I'll go with you. Xiao Xiao said, I can help you check. I don't want my sister-in-law to be unruly and willful in the future. Hee, do whatever you want. Xiao Qin had no choice but to agree. The news that Qing Zhongfan was humiliated by the Xiao family quickly spread throughout Songning City. Although the Qing family deliberately concealed it, how could this kind of thing be concealed? The Xia family soon learned about the Xiao family. When the Xia family learned about it, it naturally spread throughout Songning City. Although they were shocked at how deep the Qing clan's foundations were, to be able to have a martial master expert without anyone knowing, and to even have connections with the people of the pugilistic world, they were even more shocked at Xiao Qin. A good-for-nothing, a profligate's son that no one cared about, was actually a martial master expert as well. He was even able to kill a demonic master at the peak of the 10th layer. What level was this? Of course, Yang Jiannan, who was far away at the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's headquarters, also got the news, but he was dismissive. Xiao Qin could kill a devil at the peak of the 10th level? Don't talk nonsense. He was chased by me and jumped off a building like a stray dog. If he really had that ability, why didn't he fight back? Therefore, in Yang Jiannan's opinion, it was completely a one-sided boast from the Xiao family. This news was not confirmed by the Qing family. He laughed a few times and deleted the intelligence email sent by the Qin family. Xiao Qin, you idiot. Do you think that I will let you go if you create momentum in Songning City? Stop dreaming. When I have the time, I'll go and kill you. Yang Jiannan shook his head, but he was really busy recently. He just took over the position of the deputy director of Team C. He had been busy handing over responsibilities. Deputy Director Yang, this is the information you wanted. Xia Shibin knocked on the door and walked in. He put a stack of documents on Yang Jiannan's table. Why are you so slow? Damn, didn't I say it before? Call me Director Yang in private. Don't use the word deputy. Sooner or later, the director position will be mine. Yang Jiannan looked at Xia Shibin and sneered, your matter is not over yet. You are now under investigation and can't leave the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Do you know who fought for this result for you? Why are you so hesitant to do something? Yes. I'm sorry, Director Yang. I will be faster next time. Xia Shibin was sullen. D*MN, you asked me to assassinate Xiao Qin. Something happened. Not only did I not get rid of the matter, but I only managed to exchange for a stay on duty for investigation. If the investigation results in the end, I will still be finished. Besides, I am the deputy team leader. Are you not satisfied with running some errands all day long? Do you think it is easy for me to get these documents? I have to run up and down to collect them. You are good. Everything is my fault as soon as you open your mouth. Humph, okay. You can leave. The situation has been tense recently. You should take care of yourself. Otherwise, I can't help you. Yang Jiannan waved his hand and gestured for Xia Shibin to leave. Xia Shibin was angry. I have worked so hard to help you. In the end, you want me to take care of myself. Is there such a shameless person? However, he didn't dare to say much. He could only say, yes, Director Yang. I will leave now, he is just a follower. Didn't I give him today's position? He is doing things slowly. I don't know what he is thinking. Yang Jiannan smiled coldly. He didn't wait for Xia Shibin to leave before he said unhappily. Xia Shibin's body trembled, but he didn't say anything in the end. Wang family of Outlander. So, that Xiao Cheng is actually Xiao Qin. Not the current Yang Jiannan? Wang Tietio squinted his eyes and looked at the investigation report that Wang Benben gave him. Yes, father. That Yang Jiannan is fake. His original name is Xiao Qin. He is the son of an ordinary family in Songning. Wang Benben said, I don't think he is worthy of Xin, so I think it is better to forget about this matter. Forget? Forget your mother. Wang Tietio slammed the table and said angrily, Xin has been slept with by someone. You want to forget about it? If this gets out, how will others look at our Wang family? How will they look at me, Wang Tietio? Father. I have already taken Xin to the hospital for a checkup. There is no such thing. Even if there is, it is very common in big families. Look at the children of other families. Which one of them isn't crazy before marriage? It is nothing. It doesn't affect. Wang Benben was quite satisfied with Yang Jiannan. After all, Yang Jiannan's position was there. But now, he suddenly became the son of an ordinary family. He wasn't a member of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Of course, Wang Benben wasn't satisfied. In his opinion, it was better to marry his friend's son. Well, after a while, after the new year, let's go to the Shao family to force the marriage and settle this matter. Wang Tietio waved his hand and didn't give Wang Benben a chance to refute. Yes. Wang Benben was a little helpless, but there was no other way. In his opinion, if the woman took the initiative to propose, it was a shameful thing. Moreover, he was from the real martial arts family, and the other party was from an ordinary family. The gap was huge. It was simply embarrassing. Wang family, in Lan Xinxin's room, Wang Fantian had already returned. He was looking at his sister with a smile. Xinxin, I heard that you slept with boss Shao Chen. Ha, then I will call him brother-in-law in the future. Brother, don't joke. He is no longer a member of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. It is not certain whether father will agree. Lan Xinxin didn't know why, but she was looking forward to this marriage. Not only did she want to be responsible for Shao Chen, but she thought that Shao Chen was a good person. Being with him was a relatively easy thing to accept. It doesn't matter whether father agrees or not. As long as grandpa agrees. Wang Fantian laughed indifferently. Chapter 669. Right, I suddenly remembered something. That girl, Shao Chen's boss, doesn't only have you as his girlfriend. You have to be mentally prepared. Otherwise, you may be at a disadvantage. Lan Xinxin was stunned, and then her expression was a little painful. You see. I just said it, and you're not willing. Wang Fantian was stunned. Based on his understanding of his sister, she shouldn't be the kind of person who likes to be jealous. What happened today? Aya, what should I do? I thought that if his part is broken, I will accompany him to compensate him. But what about his girlfriends? Will they be angry and leave him? Lan Xinxin and Wang Fantian's thoughts were totally different. What nonsense. Wang Fantian was stunned. What are you talking about? I was on the plane. I broke Shao Chen's part. Lan Xinxin said anxiously. Broke it? What did you break? Wang Fantian was inexplicable. It's down there. Although Lan Xinxin was tough, there were some topics that she couldn't talk about with her brother. Wang Fantian was a little stunned at first, but then he suddenly understood. What? You broke the boss's D***CK? Both of you shook the plane? How big did it have to be for it to be broken? Could it be that the plane encountered a cold wave and became bumpy? No, it's me. Aya, anyway, I don't understand. In short, it's broken. Lan Xinxin didn't explain. How do you know it's broken? Wang Fantian asked curiously. I heard a cracking sound. It broke. Lan Xinxin said. Oh. Wang Fantian saw that Lan Xinxin didn't seem to be willing to say it, so he didn't ask much. He was just puzzled. Shao Chen seemed to be able to heal people. Could it be that his D***CK injury couldn't be healed? Sure enough, Wang Fantian and his sister soon received the family's grandfather's decision. They were going to the Shao family to force a marriage. Lan Xinxin was a little shy, but Wang Fantian was very happy. He could also follow them back to Songning City, and he could meet Xiao Chen again. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, it was New Year's Eve. On this day, the streets of Songning City were decorated with lanterns and streamers. The Xiao family was having the most lively family year in recent years. In the past, Xiao Chen didn't have any strength, so he was unhappy every day and didn't interact much with the Xiao family. And because Xiao Yuanshan was poisoned, the Xiao family didn't have much of a mood to celebrate. So they just did some simple decorations and received visitors. There wasn't much of a New Year atmosphere. But it was different this year. The Xiao family was getting better and better. This year, it had to be lively. Unlike the Xiao family, the Qing family, as the first aristocratic family in Songning, had a strange atmosphere at this time. Qing Tianxiu sat high up on the armchair. Although Qing Zhongfan was already a third-layer devil master, he was still standing below. Beside him were Qing Zhongming, Qing Menjing, and Qing Mingxiang. At this moment, Qing Mingxiang's injuries had healed, but his face was a little pale. He was scared. Xiao Chen could even kill a 10th-layer devil master. He was really merciful to him back then. Now that he thought about it, Xiao Chen probably didn't kill him because of Qing Menjing. This guy didn't care about anything. He even killed people from the martial arts sections. He was simply unscrupulous. Qing Zhongfan, it's fine that you hid your strength. You have your difficulties. But dealing with the Xiao family, why didn't you tell me in advance? Now that something has happened, what should we, the Qing family, do? Our Qing family has lost face in Songning. Qing Tianxiu said angrily. I'm sorry, father. I didn't expect Xiao Chen to be so powerful. Qing Zhongfan was a little depressed. He really didn't expect it. If he had thought of it, he wouldn't have acted so rashly. Xiao Chen is Xiao Chang. How can he not be powerful? Qing Tianxiu said angrily, look at you messing around. Isn't the engagement I arranged for Menjing a good one? With Xiao Chang's help, it's only a matter of time before our Qing clan surpasses the Zhenwu clan. Now, so many problems have arisen. This. Qing Zhongfan listened to his father's words and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It was Yu who wanted to break off the engagement, but he didn't dare to say it. Although he didn't care about the secular Qing family, if they really broke off, he couldn't kill his father and let his son succeed, right? Then, the Qing family would be completely famous. He would return to the sect in the future, but he had to make arrangements for his son, so he could only say, it's useless to regret now. We promised my junior brother that we would marry Menjing to him. If we go back on our words now, it is tantamount to going against the sect. Then, you and Xiao Chen won't go against each other? Xiao Chen is an existence who can easily annihilate us. Qing Tianxiu snorted coldly. We can only let the sect deal with it. Qing Zhongfan said, senior brother Niu is dead. The sect will not let it go. They will definitely find Xiao Chen for revenge. As long as the Xiao family is dead, there is nothing to be afraid of. Qing Menjing stood aside, her hands tightly pinching the corner of her clothes. She wanted to say something, but she also knew that whatever she said wouldn't help the family. It was better not to say anything and tell Xiao Chen all the news she knew. Father, I think our Qing family can't continue to make mistakes. Our top priority now is to apologize to the Xiao family, repair the relationship between the two families, and continue to fulfill the engagement. Otherwise, I'm afraid, the Qing family will be doomed in the end. Qing Zhongming said. Well. Qing Tianxiu was thinking about Qing Zhongming's words. It made some sense. After all, the Qing family's foundation was in Songning City. It was really not good to have the Xiao family as an enemy. Qing Tianxiu really didn't have much confidence to pin his hopes on Qing Zhongfan's sect. Senior brother Niu was so powerful, but wasn't he killed? Father, how can we reconcile with the Xiao family? There's no chance. The Xiao family and the sect are already mortal enemies. If we get close to the Xiao family, we will definitely be implicated. Qing Zhongfan saw that his father was changing his mind and immediately said, "This senior brother Niu of the sect is only average. This time, I think the sect will definitely send a martial general level expert to surround and kill Xiao Chen." Martial general? Qing Tianxiu was shocked. According to the rules of the martial arts world, martial general level experts are not allowed to fight in the secular world, right? How dare your sect? Of course there's a reason. Since Xiao Chen was able to kill senior brother Niu, it means that Xiao Chen is also a martial general level expert. He's at least a martial general level expert. Furthermore, he's not from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, so the sect has the right to retaliate against him. He was the one who killed senior brother Niu first. Since he's also a martial general, it makes sense for us to send a martial general. Qing Zhongfan said. Qing Tianxiu's expression changed. If Qing Zhongfan's sect really sent a martial general level expert, then the Qing family really wouldn't be able to deal with it. At that time, the Qing family would really be buried together with the Xiao family. This wasn't something he wanted to see. Thinking of this, Qing Tianxiu could only nod helplessly and said, "Zhongming, what Zhongfan said makes sense. Things have already developed to this point. The Qing family can only advance and retreat together. It's impossible to mend our relationship with the Xiao family." But Qing Zhongming was somewhat unwilling. "All right, it's decided. Before Menjing's sect comes to pick up the bride, she'll stay with the Qing family. Don't go out, and don't meet with Xiao Chen again." Qing Tianxiu made the final decision. "Father, Xiao Chen is your benefactor. You." Qing Zhongming still said with some reluctance. "I know this, but there's no other way. I can't just watch the Qing family die, can I?" Qing Tianxiu sighed. No matter how powerful Xiao Chen is, he's just one person. It's impossible for him to go against the martial general of the sect, but Qing Zhongming still wanted to say something. "No buts, it's decided." Qing Tianxiu waved his hand and said, "I'm tired. I'm going to rest for a while. Call me when the reunion dinner is ready." After saying that, Qing Tianxiu stood up and strode away, leaving Qing Zhongming with a helpless face and Qing Menjing with her head lowered. Qing Zhongfan also left with Qing Mingxiang. From the beginning to the end, he didn't look at Qing Zhongming again. In his opinion, Qing Zhongming was no longer a big deal. He had no right to speak. "Menjing, don't worry. I'll think of a way to talk to your grandfather." When Qing Zhongming said this, he didn't have much confidence. He didn't expect that his father would listen to Qing Zhongfan's advice after he got into such a big trouble. However, he didn't expect that Qing Tianxiu didn't listen to him. He had no choice but to do this. Because the Qing family was inevitably involved in the battle between Qing Zhongfan's sect and the Xiao family. If they backed down and sided with the Xiao family, they would die together with the Xiao family. In order to protect themselves, they could only rely on the sect. Qing Tianxiu didn't think that Xiao Chen could survive the siege of masters at the level of military generals. As long as Xiao Chen died, the Xiao family would collapse. Therefore, he had no choice but to do this. "No, Dad. Grandpa has made up his mind." Qing Menjing shook her head. "But I think it's a wrong decision. Xiao Chen won't lose." "What?" Qing Zhongming looked at his daughter in surprise. She was so confident in Xiao Chen. "I think the Qing family has made the wrong choice. We will be destroyed by second uncle." Qing Menjing shook her head. She didn't know where her confidence in Xiao Chen came from. However, at this moment, she could only support Xiao Chen in her heart. Jean Bebe also returned to the Jean family for the Spring Festival. Golden Fur Lion King also received the latest news about the Qing family and the Xiao family. He frowned and thought about the pros and cons of the matter. "Bebe, what do you think the Qing family will do?" Golden Fur Lion King asked Jean Bebe, who was watching cartoons in a carefree manner. Oh, the Qing family. They must be courting death," Jean Bebe said. "Courting death?" Golden Fur Lion King was stunned. Yes. With Qing Zhongfan's character, he must have gone back to ask for help and called some helpers to teach my cousin-in-law a lesson. Then, he was beaten back. Then, the Qing family will be finished. Jean Bebe said with a nod. Chapter 670. The gold fur Lion King was dazed for a moment. Then, he slapped his thigh and said, "Why didn't I think of that? I've been thinking about how the Shao family should deal with the situation and how to solve the problem, but it never occurred to me that the Qing family might be the loser." That's right. Cousin Menjing is so pitiful. She has no right to speak at home. Her grandpa doesn't listen to her either. She must be in big trouble, Jean Bebe complained. Then, do you think the Jean family should help them? Jean Bebe's words made the gold fur Lion King see the light. Therefore, he asked for her opinion. We can't help them. They are fighting in the martial master level. Grandpa, you are still too weak. Jean Bebe said. Haha. Who said I'm weak? The gold fur Lion King suddenly laughed. His aura spread out. It turned out that he was in the first level of martial lord. Jean Bebe was dumbfounded. She looked at her grandpa in a daze. She had never known that her grandpa was a martial lord. Before, he was not just a martial master. How did he skip the martial master level? Your grandfather, was originally a genius of the younger generation in the sect. However, because I was injured, I could not cultivate, so my strength stagnated. Now that my injuries have been healed by Shao Qin, I have accumulated a lot of experience. These years of accumulation were not for nothing, so naturally, I successfully broke through to the first layer of martial general. The golden fur Lion King laughed heartily. Bebe, are you very surprised? Gosh. Why didn't you help them before? Jean Bebe complained. You are so awesome. If you openly supported the Shao family, the Qing family would definitely not dare to act recklessly. Grandpa has his own difficulties, too. The gold fur Lion King's face suddenly turned gloomy. If the news that I'm a martial lord spreads out, the Jean family will have to move back to the sect. The sect does not allow a martial lord to wander in the secular world. After all, I'm still a disciple of the sect. It doesn't matter if I was weak before, but now that I'm strong enough, if I don't go back, it will be an excuse for other sects to attack us. Is that so? Jean Bebe was a little surprised. She had never mentioned some things about her grandfather when he was young. She only vaguely knew that her grandfather had taken root in Songning many years ago and became one of the aristocratic families. Yes, Bebe, you'll have to follow me when the time comes. The golden fur Lion King said, actually, this is something that will happen sooner or later. I am mainly afraid that you will not be able to accept it. Fallen leaves return to their roots. As I grow older, I increasingly miss the time when I was young in the sect. Then, do we have to go back as well? Jean Bebe asked curiously. My descendants will all be the outer sect disciples of the sect. This is the sect's rule, and also the sect's inheritance. Because I was once a core disciple, so the rules are like this. There is no need to be an outer sect disciple. As long as you train in the outer sect for 3 years and do not have any achievements, you can leave the sect. The golden fur Lion King said, so you can come back after staying for 3 years. What do outer disciples do? Jean Bebe asked. Fetch water, cook, clean, do some chores, and cultivate when you have nothing to do, golden fur Lion King said. So it's free labor? What kind of rule is this? Geez. Jean Bebe understood immediately. They were afraid that no one would be an outer sect disciple, so they forced the family members of the core disciples to work in the outer sect. It's not really free. There are training resources distributed every month, golden fur Lion King said. Alright, 3 years is fine, but you will be bored to death for the rest of your life, Jean Bebe said. If the Qing family takes action, Grandpa, will you do it? Bebe, do you want Grandpa to do it? Golden fur Lion King asked with a smile. If your cousin-in-law is no match for them, you can do it. Then, let your cousin-in-law visit us on the mountain often. Jean Bebe said. On the mountain? Golden Fur Lion King paused. Isn't the sect on the mountain? Jean Bebe was confused. No, why is it on the mountain? Golden Fur Lion King was confused. I saw on TV that all the martial sects are on the mountain. Jean Bebe stuck out her tongue. It's just that one of the school beauty's bodyguards, Zhang Naipeo, went up the mountain to learn martial arts. Some sects are on the mountain, but many aren't, Golden Fur Lion King said. However, your cousin is a member of the Qing family. You still call them cousin and cousin-in-law when dealing with your cousin-in-law. That's weird enough. Oh, I'm used to it. Plus, cousin Menjing is the good one. The other members of the Qing family are the bad guys, Jean Bebe said. Okay, get your father and the others here. I want to call a family meeting. Golden Fur Lion King had made his decision. Or rather, Jean Bebe made him make this decision. In Lan City, in a newly built residential area, there was a high-rise apartment on the 15th floor. Su Chuxia and Tian Souring, who had just moved there, lived there. Xiao Qin had left. The two of them lived in the same residential area, and they would always think of Xiao Qin. Although the time they spent together was short, it left an indelible impression in Su Chuxia and Tian Souring's hearts. Thinking back on it, the three of them were quite happy. They experienced many things together. One day, Tian Souring felt nostalgic. He looked at the room opposite him and felt his heart ache. Tears welled up in his eyes. He said subconsciously, Chuxia, why don't we move somewhere else? The new year is coming soon. Su Chuxia was stunned for a moment. Then, she agreed without hesitation. My family's new apartment should be ready soon. It's a big, well-renovated apartment. Our rent is about to expire, so let's contact a moving company and move there. Tian Souring was just saying it casually. She didn't expect Su Chuxia to agree so quickly. She was a little surprised, but seeing Su Chuxia's disappointed expression, Jean Bebe could guess that Su Chuxia probably wanted to leave this sad place too. The two of them hit it off. They moved into the new house one weekend. It was already renovated, and they could move in right away. Originally, the two of them were happily enjoying the joy of moving to a new place. However, this joy only lasted for a few days before they discovered something unusual. Although the room was well lit from the north to the south, the room still appeared gloomy and cold even during the day, especially when they walked out of the house and into the corridor or the elevator. A wave of coldness would hit them in the face. In the beginning, Su Chuxia and Tian Souring thought that it was a new house with few people living in it. It was normal for it to be quiet. However, that was not the case after that. They realized that the elevator would sometimes move on its own for no reason. Once, when they came out of their house, they saw the elevator stopped on the 15th floor. When the elevator door opened, there was no one inside. At first, the two of them thought that it was a prank. When they got out of the elevator, they pressed the button for another floor. However, as time went by, and the number of times it happened, it seemed a little strange. The two of them in the elevator often didn't press the button for a specific floor, but the elevator would suddenly stop on a certain floor. When they opened the door, there was no one outside. At first, they thought that it was a child who pressed the button for the elevator outside and then left, or that someone took another elevator and left first. However, as the number of times this happened increased, and the floor that the elevator stopped on was not a specific floor, but random. Some floors were not even occupied yet. The situation became extremely strange. The two of them were a little scared, so they went to the property management. In the end, the property management carried out maintenance on the elevator. The result of the maintenance was that there was no problem, but the strange things kept happening. Especially one night, the two of them wanted to go out to buy supper. The two of them had been living on their own for a long time, so they were quite brave. It was not a big deal for them to go out in the middle of the night. At this time, the other elevator had temporarily stopped being used at night. There was only one left. The two of them called for the elevator, but it did not stop directly on the 15th floor. Instead, it stopped on the 16th floor. This meant that someone on the 16th floor had also called for the elevator to go downstairs, so the elevator went to the 16th floor first. However, after the elevator stopped on the 16th floor for a while, it returned to the 15th floor. When the elevator door opened, it was empty. At that time, although Su Chuxia and Tian Suruan felt strange, they were in a hurry to go downstairs, so they did not think too much about it. However, after they entered the elevator, they felt a cold feeling in the elevator. Suruan, don't blow on my neck. It's so itchy. Su Chuxia said angrily. Chuxia, Sister Suruan has a cold. She's wearing a mask. Tian Suruan said strangely. Su Chuxia was stunned. She suddenly turned around, but there was nothing behind her. However, she felt like someone was there. What's wrong? Chuxia? Tian Suruan also sensed that something was wrong with Su Chuxia. Seeing the fear on her face, he quickly asked, did something happen? This elevator, seems like someone is in it. Su Chuxia exclaimed. As if someone was cooperating with Su Chuxia, two heavy breathing sounds came from the elevator. Chuxia, don't joke around. Can you not scare people in the middle of the night? Sister Suruan is a patient. If she gets scared to death by you, it'll be over. Although Tian Suruan was brave, he could not help but feel a chill down his spine. Aren't there only the two of us in this elevator? Creak, as the two of them spoke, the elevator stopped. However, it did not stop on the first floor. It stopped on the 4th floor. The elevator door slowly opened. The two of them relaxed. If there was another person coming up, they would feel more at ease. However, when the elevator door opened, there was no one outside. It was pitch black. Ah! Su Chuxia screamed. Ah! Tian Suruan also screamed. The elevator door closed. They continued down to the 1st floor. When the elevator door opened, the two girls scrambled out of the elevator. They were terrified. Chapter 671. The two of them wanted to look for the security guard on duty, but there was no one in the security room at the entrance. It was probably because there weren't many tenants living here, so the security here was very lax. The security guards all gathered somewhere to drink at night. Su Chuxia and Tian Suruan were no longer in the mood for supper. The two of them quickly left the high-rise apartment and walked on the road of the neighborhood. Although there was no one outside, they felt a lot more at ease here. They practically ran out of the neighborhood and arrived at a 24-hour KFC fast food restaurant near the neighborhood. The two of them walked in, ordered something, and sat opposite each other without saying a word. They thought about all the strange things that had happened since they moved in, and how they would often hear the sound of the elevator chains in the middle of the night. Now that they thought about it, it was indescribably strange. Who would take the elevator back and forth in the middle of the night? But sometimes, the elevator seemed to be running all night. At least, the two of them didn't dare to go back before dawn. Chuxia, Sister Suruan is a little scared. There seems to be something wrong with this place. After a while, Tian Suruan drank a cup of hot milk tea and calmed down. I know. Su Chuxia sighed. When I bought the house, I heard that this used to be a mass grave, but it was cheap. Where else in Lan City can you find a house that costs 5,000 yuan per square meter? It's so cheap here, and I don't have much money, so I bought it here. Ah, then why did you buy it? It's a mass grave. Tian Suruan was shocked and almost spat out the milk tea in his mouth. We're all young educated people of the new era. How can we believe those things? What's wrong with mass graves? Even if it's under your feet now, there might have been people buried in the past. Su Chuxia shook her head. Then how do you explain these strange phenomena? Tian Suruan said impatiently. Chuxia, some things can't be explained by science because science hasn't developed to that stage yet. You're Professor Su's daughter, so you should understand this better. Things that can't be explained by science don't mean they aren't science. Okay. Su Chuxia shrugged. But I've already moved here, what else can I do? Why don't we not go out at night and just stay at home after school? There are still security guards in the morning and night. I guess that's the only way. Why is this a scam? Sister Sour Sour ended up staying in a haunted house, Tian Sour Sour said gloomily. Why don't you buy a villa if you can? Su Chuxia glared at her. You're still picky even though you're living in my house. Aya, that's right. Didn't Xiao Chang leave us so many gold bars? How about we sell it and buy a villa? Tian Suruan suddenly slammed the table and said. Sour, do you really want those gold bars? Su Chuxia frowned. That's a dangerous way of thinking. You're a bit of a gold digger. You don't have much of a relationship with Xiao Chang, so how can you spend his money? Who said so? He is Sister Sour Sour's boyfriend. He even confessed. Tian Sour Sour said, it's natural for me to spend my boyfriend's money. Aren't you ashamed? Su Chuxia rolled her eyes. Aya, it's fine if you don't spend it. Oh right, I remember now. Isn't Taoist Luli his little brother? There's something wrong with this building. We can look for Luli. Maybe he knows how to catch ghosts. Tian Sour Sour had an idea. Su Chuxia was a little moved after hearing that. Taoists catching ghosts was deeply rooted in people's hearts, so Tian Sour Sour's suggestion was not bad. Then, shall we look for Taoist Luli? Yes, let's look for him. Tian Sour Sour nodded. I think you should look for him. Su Chuxia thought about it and was a little embarrassed. Aren't you Xiao Chang's girlfriend? It's easier for you to look for him. TSK, now you know that Sister Sour Sour is his girlfriend, right? He didn't let me sell the gold bars just now. Tian Sour Sour took out her phone and found Taoist Luli's Weixin. She sent him a message. I'm your Sister Sour Sour. I'm looking for you to catch ghosts now. When can you come? After receiving Tian Sour Sour's message, Taoist Luli was obviously stunned. After a while, he realized who Tian Sour Sour was. Ah, Grandmaster's wife, hello. What does catching ghosts mean? Is it hide and seek? No, it's just that my house seems to be haunted. Can you use spells to catch ghosts? Tian Sour Sour explained. Haunted? Catch ghosts? Taoist Luli was speechless. Let me try. Although he was a Taoist, he was not the kind of Taoist who was good at catching ghosts. He did not belong to the same sect. What he pursued was cultivation and longevity, while those who caught ghosts pursued subduing demons. Then come quickly. Tian Sour Sour said as she sent the address to Taoist Luli. Okay, I'll prepare. Taoist Luli was a little helpless, but he could only agree. He turned around and looked for his master, Taoist Taishan. After Taoist Luli told him about the matter here, Taoist Taishan was also a little puzzled. He had never caught ghosts before. After all, their sect, starting from Xiaoma, focused on research and cultivation. Curing illnesses and saving people were just a branch of alchemy. As for subduing demons, they had never studied it. However, since it was Tian Sour Sour's request, the two of them could only pack up. They brought cinnabar, peachwood swords, and the like to the neighborhood where they lived. The next morning, Su Chuxia and Tian Sour Sour returned to the neighborhood sleepily. As soon as they entered the door, they saw the security guard. Hey, do you know? There's something wrong with this building. Why weren't you here last night? If you neglect your duty, Sister Sour Sour won't pay the property management fees next time. Tian Sour Sour scolded the security guard. Of course there's a problem. Let me ask you, were you so bored that you played with the elevator in the middle of the night? The security guard ignored Tian Sour Sour and asked directly. We? Played with the elevator? Tian Sour Sour's eyes widened. When I went to the property management meeting just now, I was scolded by the manager. He said that the public electricity bill of the building I manage exceeds the limit every month. It's tens of thousands of yuan a month. the security guard complained. I went to check the electricity usage records and found that most of the electricity is used in the elevator. Say, no one is so bored that they play with the elevator. Why is there so much electricity? That's what we're talking about. This elevator keeps creaking in the middle of the night. We can't sleep well. Is it haunted? Tian Sour said, don't go out at night anymore. Just stay here and watch over whoever is playing with the elevator. Won't it be fine if he catches them? That's what I'm thinking. I must catch this bastard. The security guard said angrily. Forget it, Sour. Su Chuxia pulled Tian Sour. She was already too tired and needed to rest. Tian Sour finally gave up. The two of them walked into the elevator. Then, Su Chuxia said, Sour, maybe the security guard is right. It might be some kid's prank. Once he catches the person, everything will be fine. All right. Because it was daytime, the eerie atmosphere was a little better. The feeling in the elevator was no longer the same. The two of them went back to their room and fell asleep. In the afternoon, Taoist Luli and Taoist Tai Shan came. Su Chuxia and Tian Sour woke up and opened the door to welcome the two of them. Great, you're here. Let's go and see what's causing the trouble. Although Tian Sour was woken up, she was still very happy because the strangeness in this building was really torturing her to the point of going crazy. Okay, Grandmaster's wife, we'll go now. Taoist Luli quickly nodded and responded. Then, he went to busy himself with Taoist Tai Shan. However, the two of them were busy for the whole afternoon. They walked around every floor, but they didn't find anything strange. They could only return to Su Chuxia and Tian Sour's room. There's nothing wrong. We didn't find anything, Taoist Luli said. You didn't find anything? Tian Sour was stunned. Is it really a kid's prank? It's possible. Taoist Luli nodded. Forget it. You guys can go back. Sorry for troubling you. Tian Sour felt a little relieved. She felt that what the security guard said might be right. Someone was playing a prank. After Taoist Luli and Taoist Tai Shan left, Su Chuxia was also a little relieved. However, she still didn't dare to go out casually. Instead, she called for takeout for the whole day. At night, the two of them went to bed early. Because they stayed up all night yesterday, they were especially tired today. Even the sound of the elevator running in the middle of the night couldn't be heard anymore. They slept until dawn. After the two of them got up, they couldn't wait to go downstairs. They wanted to ask the security guard if he had caught the prankster child. However, when they arrived at the lobby on the first floor, there were already some residents gathered there, and they were discussing. Could it be that they caught it? Su Chuxia and Tian Sour both had the same thought. The two of them walked over and heard a neighbor saying, I told you that the place we live is not clean. There seems to be something, but the property management company didn't take it seriously. They even thought that I was crazy. Now, is it good? Did I scare their security guard crazy? Is the security guard crazy? Su Chuxia and Tian Sour looked at each other. They were very shocked. They didn't expect such an outcome. Yes, I think so too. There must be something wrong with this building. No one lives above the 20th floor. When I come back at night, I often find the elevator stopping at the 20th floor. There must be something wrong. Moreover, the elevator will mysteriously stop at an empty floor. When the door opens, there's no one outside. Isn't this strange? Another neighbor said. Yes. The elevator always creaks in the middle of the night. But as far as I know, there are a total of more than 20 households living in this building. Very few people work the night shift. Even if there are, the elevator can't operate all night, another person agreed. Chapter 672. Let's go to the property management office. We have to get them to solve this problem for us. Otherwise, we won't pay the property management fees and will ask the developer to cancel the house, a neighbor shouted. Yes, let's go find them. I didn't believe it before, but now the security guards are crazy. The living example is right in front of us, the others also echoed. Chusha, are we going too? Tian Sour asked. Let's go and see what's going on. Su Chusha also felt that things were getting weirder and weirder. Is this Taoist Luli lying to me? How can he say that it's fine? This person is crazy. Tian Sour complained. Maybe he can't find anything during the day, or maybe Taoist Luli can't do anything about it. Su Chusha shook her head. Someone had gone crazy. This was no longer a small matter. She hoped that the property management office could solve it properly. The group of people went to the property management office. The person who received them was a property manager. Actually, the property manager was also numb about this matter. He had never encountered such a strange thing before. He promised everyone to investigate it, but he was actually just reporting it to the headquarters and then contacting the developer to ask about it. After all, this building was not built by them. They were just managing the property. After listening to the manager's analysis, these owners could not do anything. Their agitated emotions just now also calmed down. It was impossible to prove that it was haunted. Even if they found someone to appraise it, they would not be able to find anything, let alone cancel the house. After all, this was not a haunted house. Even if there was a lawsuit, there was no way to obtain evidence. The original mass grave was not a reason to cancel the house. Many residential areas in the city were once graveyards, especially at the edge of the city. It could be said that people were buried step by step. However, after the residential areas were built, there were only a few houses that were really haunted. In the end, the property manager's solution was that it was the elevator that caused the trouble. Why don't everyone vote and agree to cut off the elevator? However, no one responded. After all, if the elevator really stopped, how were these people going to go home? Wouldn't they die of exhaustion going up and down the stairs every day? Knowing that there was no result, these owners could only leave. Su Chusha and Tian Sour were a little depressed. They bought some fast food and tried not to go out unless there was something important. Sigh, if only Xiao Cheng was here. He would definitely be able to solve it. This Taoist Luli is not reliable at all. Tian Sour complained as he got into the elevator with Su Chusha. There were other residents in the elevator, so it was not as strange as it was at night. The elevator seemed to know that it was daytime. There were many people, so nothing strange happened and it didn't stop randomly. Xiao Cheng has his own things to do. How can he stay with us for the rest of his life? Su Chusha rolled her eyes. Well, since we have nothing to do, let's go and see him. Anyway, I don't want to live in this building anymore. It's too scary. Let's just treat it as a vacation, okay? Anyway, Sister Sour Sour is alone, and Chusha, there's no point for you to celebrate Chinese New Year, Tian Sour Sour suggested. Su Chusha was really tempted at this moment. Why don't you call Sour and ask about the situation first, okay? With Su Chusha's support, Tian Suruan immediately took out his phone and dialed Xiao Cheng's number. Yang Jiannan looked at the unfamiliar number on the phone. He was a little puzzled, but he still picked it up. Hello, who is this? I'm Yang Jiannan. Xiao Cheng, it's me, Sister Sour. Tian Sour said. What Sour sister? I don't know her. Are you a salesperson? Xiao Chen had already replaced Yang Jiannan's number with Yang Jiannan's. Of course, this included the external number. With that, Yang Jiannan hung up the phone. However, after hanging up, Yang Jiannan suddenly remembered that the person on the other side of the phone said, Xiao Cheng. During this period of time at the Supernatural Investigation Bureau headquarters, he took the time to look through the files of the time when Xiao Chen impersonated him. He knew that Xiao Chen used the name Xiao Cheng. Could it be that the woman was looking for Xiao Chen? Yang Jiannan subconsciously quickly looked up his own file and searched for the word sour sour. Sure enough, he found something. So, she's Su Chuxia's best friend. Xiao Chang was her boyfriend before? Hee, this is going to be fun. Yang Jiannan looked at the records on the computer and pinched his chin. He had a shifty look on his face and he seemed to be up to no good. After thinking for a while, he picked up the phone. Sour, how is it? Su Chuxia asked. Hang up. Say that I'm Sister Sour. He doesn't know me. Tian Sour looked depressed. He didn't call the wrong person. Why did he pretend that he doesn't know Sister Sour? He can't be so heartless, right? Maybe he's busy. You know his identity. Maybe he's carrying out another mission. If that's the case, it's normal for him to pretend that he doesn't know you. He even pretended that he didn't know Wang Fantian. Su Chuxia thought about it and comforted him. That's true. Tian Sour nodded. Then, his phone rang. He looked at it and saw that it was Xiao Chang's number. He couldn't help but say excitedly, as expected, Chuxia, you're right. Hello? Sour, I was in a meeting just now. It wasn't convenient for me to answer the phone. What's wrong? What's the matter? Yang Jiannan tried his best to sound concerned. Xiao Chang, are you busy recently? Where are you? Sister Sour wants to play with you, okay? Sister Sour misses you. Tian Sour didn't suspect anything and said happily. Haha, of course. I'm in Tianfang province. You guys can come over. Yang Jiannan said with a smile, but his heart was filled with a different kind of perverted passion. After he was swapped with a dog kidney, he lost the joy of being a man. In fact, he was unwilling to give up. He had been searching for information during this period of time. However, in his case, there were no cases to follow. A normal person who swapped with a dog kidney would have died a long time ago. How could he live until now? Yang Jiannan knew that this was also because of the medicine. It caused his genes to mutate, which made him compatible with a dog kidney. However, after obtaining strength, he wanted to obtain more. He wanted to regain his masculinity. Therefore, after searching for a while, he finally came to a conclusion. That was, raping his enemy's woman might bring excitement and enjoyment to his body and mind. Maybe he could regain his masculinity in an instant. He had been thinking about who to start with for a while. The person who was far away but close at hand was Song Huawu, but he couldn't make a move. He almost killed Song Huawu previously. If he made a move now, it would be difficult if Song Billion really fell out with him. Now that Xiao Chen's woman came to his door, Yang Jiannan was overjoyed. This was simply a godsend opportunity. Tianfang province? Tian Sour heard it and said, why is it so far? Is it in the provincial capital? Yes, it's fine. I will book the tickets and hotels for both of you. Then, when you arrive, I will pick you up at the airport. Yang Jiannan was afraid that the two of them wouldn't come, so he quickly said politely. That's good. We will wait for your news. Tian Sour was just sighing casually. They still had to go. Okay, I have booked the tickets here. I will send you the time. Yang Jiannan was trembling with excitement. It's so cool. Wahahaha. Then, Sister Sour will go pack up. Tian Sour didn't expect such a change in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. No one informed her, so she didn't notice at all. Danger was approaching. Half an hour later, Tian Sour received a flight booking message from Yang Jiannan. She and Su Chuxia didn't want to stay in this haunted place for another moment, so they quickly headed to the airport. In the evening, the two of them arrived at the provincial capital airport of Tianfang province. As expected, when they left the airport, they saw Yang Jiannan standing at the exit and waving at them. They had only seen Xiao Chang's face on his ID. Why do you look like this now? You look like a gigolo. You don't look as pleasing as the previous Xiao Chang. Tian Sour walked over and naturally handed the luggage in her hand to Yang Jiannan. She held Su Chuxia's hand and walked to the side. The corner of Yang Jiannan's mouth twitched. He cursed in his heart. Xiao Chen is the gigolo. However, he smiled nonchalantly and said, "It's necessary for work. Previously, I went to protect you, so I had to appear as Xiao Chang. Now that I'm back at the headquarters, I have to show my real face." "I see." Tian Sauer nodded and didn't think too much about it. "Oh right, Xiao Chang, have you prepared a feast? Sister Sauer has been starving recently. Look, even her breasts have shrunk from hunger." Yang Jianan glanced greedily at Tian Suruan's curvaceous figure, especially her wheat-colored skin. It was almost the same as the female lead in the adult movies he had been watching recently, and it made his heart flutter. However, what made him depressed was that although his heart was aroused, his lower body didn't have any reaction at all. It still didn't work. Could it be that he rubbed too much when he was fantasizing about Song Huawu? Did it act up after a kidney transplant? "Of course, I've prepared money. Sauer, what do you want to eat?" "It's my treat." Yang Jianan smiled and patted his waist bag. "Of course it's barbecue. Sister Sauer loves barbecue the most." Tian Sauer said. "All right, let's go. The car is outside." Yang Jianan went to the parking lot with the two of them and got into a business car. He placed Su Chuxia and Tian Sauer's luggage in the car. After inviting the two of them into the car, he got into the driver's seat. After starting the car, Yang Jianan charged out of the airport. At the airport parking lot, he didn't pay the toll. Instead, he pressed the alarm and drove the car toward the railing. The staff was shocked. He came out to take a look at Yang Jianan's car plate number and quickly opened the railing. However, he secretly cursed in his heart. "Even if you're from the special department, you should at least say something. Why did you just charge forward with the alarm?" However, Yang Jianan didn't care at all. When he got on the airport highway, his car speed increased to more than 200 kilometers per hour. However, his speed was completely different from the technical speed Xiao Qin used before. Chapter 673. To put it bluntly, he sounded the alarm along the way and kept asking the cars in front of him to give way. Then, he didn't need to drive on the side and just charged forward. Tian Wangchuan was quite excited to be in the flying car, but Su Chuxia frowned and looked at Yang Jianan with a strange gaze. It was the same after they got off the airport highway. Yang Jianan was also domineering in the city. He drove against the traffic, flashed lights, and changed lanes at will. If there was a car blocking the road, he would sound the alarm and shout, "Xiao Chang, I didn't expect you to be so impressive here." Tian Wangchuan only felt good and didn't think there was anything wrong with it. However, Su Chuxia felt that Xiao Chang seemed to have changed into a different person. Previously, Xiao Chang was very low-key. Now, Xiao Chang was simply arrogant to the extreme. He could be so high-profile even when driving a car. One could imagine how high-profile his usual style was. In fact, Yang Jianan had been riding high recently. He was promoted to deputy director and his strength was also at the martial master level. His self-confidence was simply bursting. Wherever he went, his nose was in the air. The car finally stopped in front of a barbecue square. Yang Jianan took out his phone and dialed a number. Then, he shouted, "Xia Shibin, have you booked the private room that I asked you to?" Okay. Director Yang, you're here?" Xia Shibin said quickly. "We're here. Come down and pick us up," Yang Jianan said. "Wow, such a big barbecue square. How much did it cost?" Tian Wangchuan looked at the luxurious restaurant outside and immediately drooled. "It's okay. Xia Shibin spent money. Give him a chance to treat us. He can't be happier," Yang Jianan said disdainfully. When Su Chuxia heard this, she frowned. She knew Xia Shibin and knew that he was Xiao Chang's subordinate. However, why was his attitude towards this subordinate so bad now? Not long after, Xia Shibin came out of the restaurant and came to the front of Yang Jianan's business car. He opened the door for Yang Jiannan and said respectfully, "Director Yang, please get out." As he spoke, he even used his hand to gently block the top of the door to prevent Yang Jiannan's head from touching it. He was simply meticulous. Yang Jiannan snorted and said unhappily, "Don't you know that there are guests behind the car? You should open the door for the guests first." "What do you mean by your eyesight? Are you blind? Hurry up." "Yes, yes." Xia Shibin quickly went to open the door for Su Chuxia and Tian Soran. After they came down, he said to Yang Jiannan, "Director Yang, the private room has been booked. It's VIP room 1. The people who came for dinner have been sent away according to your instructions." "You did well." Yang Jiannan nodded in satisfaction. Xia Shibin curled his lips. "Well done, my A*S. I've already paid for them." However, he naturally couldn't say this to Yang Jiannan. He could only pinch his nose and accept it. Yang Jiannan waved his hand and said to Su Chuxia and Tian Sour with a smile, "Order whatever you like. It's my treat. Eat as much as you want." "Great, I want this. Tian Suruan picked up the menu and began to order the specialties. Yang Jiannan casually lit a cigarette, but Xia Shibin's heart was bleeding. He didn't earn much to begin with, but now, all the money from the year-end bonus was gone. Su Chuxia noticed Xia Shibin's expression. She couldn't help but pull Tian Suran's sleeve and said, "Soran, that's enough. We can't finish it anyway, it's okay. Xiao Cheng has money." Tian Soran said. It's okay. Just order whatever you like." Yang Jiannan laughed. "Alright, that's all." Su Chuxia didn't care whether Tian Soran was done ordering or not. She immediately put away the menu and handed it to the waiter. "What would you like to drink?" the waiter asked. Tian Soran wanted to order freshly squeezed juice, but Su Chuxia said, "Free herbal tea or mineral water will do." "Alright." The waiter was a little puzzled. The person treating them asked them to order whatever they like, but the customer was still trying to save money. Soon, the barbecued meat was served. It was very sumptuous. Even if Tian Soran ordered less, there was still enough food. Delicious, delicious. Tian Soran was a foodie. Su Chuxia, on the other hand, ate casually. She didn't seem to have much of an appetite. She felt that Xiao Cheng had changed. He was no longer the Xiao Cheng from before. Although Xiao Cheng was arrogant before, he wasn't so exaggerated. In short, she didn't understand why a person's personality would change so much. Looking at the boastful Yang Jiannan, Su Chuxia felt that she must have been blind to have become good friends with such a person. "If you have any problems in Tianfang province, feel free to look for me. I am now the deputy chief of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Not to mention Tianfang province, even if you have any problems in other provinces, you can look for me at any time. There won't be a problem." Yang Jiannan didn't eat. He just smoked and bragged. "Right, does your Supernatural Investigation Bureau also investigate and deal with some mysterious phenomena?" Tian Soran asked as he ate. "Yes, is there anything I can help with?" Yang Jiannan said, taking on everything. "It's like this. The new house that Chuxia and I moved to is haunted." As he spoke, Tian Soran told Yang Jiannan about some of the strange things that happened during this period of time. "Oh? There's such a thing?" Yang Jiannan was a little surprised after hearing it, but he didn't think it was a big deal. "That's not a problem. I will send someone to investigate it for you. Don't worry, our Supernatural Investigation Bureau investigates these mysterious phenomena." NN. Tian Soran was very happy that his goal was achieved. Su Chuxia was even more disappointed in Yang Jiannan. No matter what, they were all very good friends. No matter what, he had to see it personally. In the end, he only sent someone over. This made Su Chuxia feel that Xiao Cheng didn't treat them as friends at all. In fact, Yang Jiannan didn't have the mood to study these things. He had a purpose. When the time came, he would XX the two girls and buy a new house for them. He didn't care if his previous house was haunted or not. During the meal, Su Chuxia didn't say a word. However, when Yang Jiannan suggested that he take them around, Su Chuxia said, "Forget it, it's getting late. We just got off the plane and we're pretty tired. We want to rest early, rest. Rest well." Yang Jiannan was taken aback, but he quickly nodded. He was afraid that the two of them wouldn't sleep so early. He couldn't wait to make his move. "I've booked a hotel for you. I'll take you there now." "Okay, sorry for the trouble," Su Chuxia said politely. "Is it a 5-star hotel?" Tian Soran asked. 6-star, haha. Yang Jiannan laughed. Yang Jiannan rushed all the way to the hotel. This hotel was really luxurious. Although it was not 6-star, it was probably more than a normal 5-star hotel. Su Chuxia and Tian Soran took their luggage upstairs. Yang Jiannan said to Xia Shibin, "Have you reserved the room next to them?" "Yes." Xia Shibin quickly handed a room card to Yang Jiannan. "And, let's go up together." Yang Jiannan nodded and said, "You did well. I will find a chance after the new year to help you remove the restrictions and let you move freely." "Thank you, Director Yang." Xia Shibin said that, but deep down, he was depressed. *CK, if I let you out to do things, I can come out. If I don't, I can only stay in the headquarters. The headquarters just wants you to monitor me. As long as you don't monitor me, I can move freely, right? Wow, what a comfortable bed. Tian Soran looked at the round bed in the room and fell on it excitedly. He shouted, "Chuxia, come and try it. This feels so good. It's like going on a vacation." "Sour, get up first." Su Chuxia looked at Tian Sour with a stern expression. "Huh? Chuxia, what are you doing? Why are you so serious? It wasn't easy to get out of that haunted house. You should be happy." Tian Soran looked at Su Chuxia with confusion. "Soran, didn't you notice that Xiao Chang is no longer the Xiao Chang from before?" Su Chuxia asked. "Not the Xiao Chang from before?" "Yes, isn't he Yang Jiannan now?" Tian Soran was a bit confused. "What's wrong? I mean, didn't you notice that he has changed? He has become exaggerated and flamboyant. I really don't know if this is his original personality or his previous personality. In short, I don't like the current Yang Jiannan," Su Chuxia said. Chuxia, do you mean that you like the old Xiao Chang?" Tian Soran looked at Su Chuxia mischievously. "Soran, you're still joking with me at a time like this. I'm not talking about that. I mean, I don't like his personality." Su Chuxia frowned. "I don't know if his confidence is inflated because he became the deputy director, but I don't want to stay here anymore. Let's go back tomorrow." "Huh?" Tian Soran was a little stunned. However, after thinking about it carefully, Yang Jiannan's personality seemed to be different from before. Tian Soran didn't think so much before and only cared about eating. Moreover, he hadn't seen Xiao Chang for a long time and missed him very much, so he didn't care about those small details. If it wasn't for the fact that Yang Jiannan's current appearance didn't match the Xiao Chang in her memory, Tian Soran would have wanted to get close to him. "Soran, if this person's personality is like this, we should stay away from him," Su Chuxia said solemnly. "I understand." Tian Soran nodded. At this moment, after Su Chuxia's reminder, she also thought it through. Yang Jiannan's current personality was indeed not good. He was no longer the Xiao Chang that she had some feelings for. "Alright, I'm going to take a shower. Let's sleep early," Su Chuxia said. Chapter 674. "Oh, let's go together." Tian Sour said, "We've been bathing together for the past few days. I'm used to it." "Okay." Su Chuxia was a little helpless. Tian Sour usually acted like a big sister, but she was actually very timid. She was afraid of being haunted at home, so she always bathed with her. In the next room, young Jiannan had a cigarette in his mouth. He watched the adult channel on the TV with Xia Shibin. He held the cigarette with one hand and put the other hand into his pants. Xia Shibin was already used to Yang Jiannan's wretched and disgusting behavior. Previously, when this guy lived with him, he always fantasized about Song Huawu, but he didn't expect it to still be like this. Go and investigate and see if they are drugged. Have they fainted? Yang Jiannan's breathing was a little rapid. He was a little interested and wanted to try. Okay, Director Yang. Xia Shibin quickly stood up. He didn't want to stay here for a long time. It was too boring. He carefully went out of the room and came to the door of Su Chuxia and Tian Sour's room. He knocked twice. There was no response. Xia Shibin tried to knock for a while more, but there was still no response. He then turned around and went to the next room. He saw that Yang Jiannan was staring at him, so he quickly said, "There's no movement." "Okay, I heard it. Give me the room card, I'll go and take a look." Yang Jiannan stood up, threw the cigarette on the ground, stepped on it, and grabbed the room card from Xia Shibin's hand with his crotch. There were 2 room cards for each room. Previously, Yang Jiannan had given Su Chuxia and Tian Sour one, and deliberately kept the other one. Xia Shibin felt disgusted, but he didn't show it. Yang Jiannan didn't care about him and strode out of the room. Xia Shibin quickly went to the bathroom to wash his hands. When Yang Jiannan closed the door, he didn't even have time to wipe the water stains on his hands. He quickly called Xiao Chen. "Xia Shibin?" Xiao Chen picked up Xia Shibin's call with some surprise. He didn't know why Xia Shibin was looking for him during the new year. "Brother Xiao, something happened. Yang Jiannan wants to rape Su Chuxia and Tian Sour." Xia Shibin said in a hurry, "I haven't found a chance to call you. Now I finally have time." "What?" Xiao Chen was a little surprised. "How does Yang Jiannan know them?" "It's a long story. They came to ask Yang Jiannan for help. I heard it's because the new house is haunted." Xia Shibin said, "Previously, he told me to arrange a restaurant and a hotel, but he didn't say who it was. When they came, I found out. It was too late to inform you. Now, Yang Jiannan has already gone to their room. Quickly think of a way." "What? He's already in the room?" Xiao Chen turned pale with fright after he heard that. He wouldn't be able to make it in time even if he stepped on the firestorm wheels. Songning was thousands of miles away from Tianfang province. "Yes, I'm sorry, Brother Xiao. I can't stop Yang Jiannan," Xia Shibin said with some distress, "but that thing of his is not very useful. I don't think he will succeed. You can still make it if you come quickly." "Okay, I'll go there now." Xiao Chen took a deep breath. He didn't bother to say goodbye to his family. He directly opened the window and stepped on the flying sword, speeding in the direction of Tianfang province. Flying in the sky, Xiao Chen still felt that he was a little too slow. At this speed, he would probably not be much faster than a plane when he reached Tianfang province. Furthermore, it was impossible for him to travel 1,000 kilometers in an instant as he imagined. "Elder Heaven Ancestor, my flying speed is still a little too slow," Xiao Chen said with some regret. "Your flying sword is not good enough, and your strength is not good enough. How fast do you want to go?" Elder Heaven Ancestor snorted coldly and said with some disdain, "You are now only at the peak of Foundation Establishment Level 1. If you want to fly fast, you have to at least reach the peak of Foundation Establishment Level 10 or refine a good flying sword. Your current speed is fast enough. But I'm afraid I won't make it in time." Xiao Chen was worried about the safety of Su Chuxia and Tian Sour. Although Xia Shibin also said that Yang Jiannan might not be useful, Xiao Chen couldn't pin his hopes on this. "If you can't make it in time, you can let Little Demon and go first. He is faster than you." Elder Heaven Ancestor reminded him. Xiao Chen was slightly stunned and then said with joy, "Little demonin, quickly fly to Tianfang Province's Glorious Star Hotel and look for Yang Jiannan. Then, think of a way to stop him." "Yes, master." Little demonin responded and didn't say much. He directly flew out of Xiao Chen's divine sense space. His speed was indeed much faster than Xiao Chen's. In the blink of an eye, he disappeared. Xiao Chen glanced in the direction where Little Demonin left and felt slightly relieved. Yang Jiannan quietly opened the door to Su Chuxia and Tian Sao's room and walked in carefully. He was overjoyed to see that the two of them had already fallen asleep on the bed. He wasn't in a hurry to get on the horse. Instead, he sat at the side and began to fantasize about Xiao Chen's appearance, as well as the scene of Xiao Chen, Su Chuxia, and Tian Sao together. He couldn't go into battle directly because his body didn't have any reaction until now. He could only constantly fantasize about Xiao Chen's appearance. He imagined that the two people in front of him were Xiao Chen's women. Only then could he obtain psychological satisfaction. Only then could he hope to recover. In the dark night, looking at Su Chuxia and Tian Sao's pretty faces, Yang Jiannan's eyes flashed with greed. However, his body didn't have any reaction. This made him feel helpless. At the same time, he felt endless hatred for Xiao Chen. It was Xiao Chen who made him like this. He wanted revenge. Half an hour passed. An hour passed. Yang Jiannan didn't get the result he wanted from his fantasies. He stood up helplessly. It seemed like the time wasn't right yet. He turned around and walked out of the room. He quietly closed the door and returned to the room next door. When he saw Xia Shibin watching an entertainment program, he was furious. He immediately yelled, "Xia Shibin, what are you doing? You still have the mood to watch these useless things?" "Ah, Director Yang, you're back." "I..." Xia Shibin hurriedly turned off the TV. In his heart, he was cursing, "What does it have to do with you that I'm watching TV? Go to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau right now and get the medicine. They're in the pharmacy. They have the latest powerful medicine imported from abroad. Get me some." Yang Jiannan ordered. "Ah. But the management of those medicines is very strict. If I go there directly, I'm afraid I won't be able to get it, right?" Xia Shibin was in a difficult position. He was already a criminal. If he went to steal, wouldn't it be even more serious? "I told you to go, so go. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Don't tell me that the door can stop you. If there's a problem, I'll protect you." Yang Jiannan waved his hand impatiently. Xia Shibin had no choice but to stand up and walk out of the room. He quickly went downstairs and drove to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau naturally had some of the latest medicine, but these things were used in some special missions. If there were no special circumstances, they weren't allowed to be used, and they weren't allowed to be used at will. Xia Shibin definitely couldn't get it through normal channels, but to take it secretly. He sighed. This Yang Jiannan really dug a pit for him. He simply wouldn't stop until he was dead. However, Xia Shibin did not dare to disobey. He also knew that if he showed the slightest dissatisfaction with Yang Jiannan, what awaited him would be complete abandonment. His crime of assassinating Xiao Chen would be confirmed, and he would never be able to get out of it. Xia Shibin dragged his heavy steps into the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. He was also very familiar with the facilities here. He easily avoided the cameras and came to the front of the warehouse. For an agent, it was easy to open this kind of lock. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau didn't guard against agents like them because the quality of these people was still very high. Normally, it was impossible for them to do something like stealing. If he really wanted to steal something, no matter how tight the lock was, it would be useless. He carefully opened the warehouse door, then tiptoed in, and searched the rows of shelves. After more than half an hour of searching, Xia Shibin's eyes finally fell on a small bottle. He carefully took it down, then turned around and quickly left the warehouse, returning to the hotel. You're back. Why are you so slow? I don't know why you're dawdling. I'm almost out of interest. Do you know that? Yang Jiannan glared at Xia Shibin with dissatisfaction. He grabbed the small bottle in his hand and couldn't wait to look at it in his hand. Xia Shibin couldn't be bothered to explain. He was already used to being Yang Jiannan's punching bag. After reading the instructions on the bottle, Yang Jiannan opened the cap and poured out a pill. After thinking for a while, he poured out another pill and swallowed both of them together. He then turned on the adult channel on the TV. About half an hour later, Yang Jiannan felt a burning sensation in his abdomen. It seemed to have taken effect. He quickly stood up and ran to the room next door again. Xia Shibin looked at his watch and wondered why Xiao Chen wasn't here yet. However, this was all he could do. He couldn't stop Yang Jiannan. If he went up, he would only die. Yang Jiannan entered Su Chuxia's room again and sat on the chair. He stared at the two beautiful faces and continued to fantasize in his heart. After a while, Yang Jiannan was overjoyed. He felt that the medicine seemed to have a miraculous effect. As expected of a special agent, he had a reaction. This made him surprised and happy. He stood up impatiently and lifted the cup that covered Su Chuxia's body. A chill hit her, and Su Chuxia subconsciously shivered. She opened her eyes and couldn't help but scream, "Ah!" Chapter 675. Huh? Yang Jiannan was stunned. Why was Su Chuxia awake? Shouldn't he be under the influence of hallucinogens? He didn't know that she was drugged, but Xia Shibin only used a small amount. Xia Shibin didn't dare to disobey Yang Jiannan's orders, but he didn't want to harm Su Chuxia and Tian Yoshi, so he reduced the dosage. Moreover, Yang Jiannan had been opening and closing the door for a long time, and the drug in the room had disappeared, so Su Chuxia woke up. What's wrong, Chuxia? Did you have a nightmare again? Su Chuxia's scream woke Tian Yoshi up. She asked in a daze. Yang Jiannan, what are you doing here? How did you get in? Su Chuxia looked at Yang Jiannan coldly. Her sleepiness was gone, and all that was left was a cold rejection. She didn't even call Yang Jiannan Xiao Chang anymore. She called him by his real name, so that she wouldn't have anything to do with him. Why are you awake? That's impossible. Yang Jiannan looked at Su Chuxia in shock. You guys are okay? Yang Jiannan, why are you here in the middle of the night? Su Chuxia shrank back in alarm. She looked at Yang Jiannan with hostility. Huh, so what if you're awake? Do you think I can't deal with you two as a martial master at the peak of the 10th level? It doesn't matter, it's even better now that you're awake. The more you struggle, the better I feel. Yang Jiannan laughed and started taking off his clothes in front of them. Yang Jiannan, if you continue to mess around, we'll call for help. Su Chuxia said in shock. At this moment, Tian Yoshi woke up in a daze. She looked at the scene in front of her and was shocked. Yang Jiannan, why are you here in the middle of the night? Why are you taking off your clothes? Of course I'm here for you guys. Yang Jiannan had a lecherous smile on his face. He looked at the two of them lecherously and continued taking off his pants. Yoshi, you run out, and I'll stay here. Yang Jiannan can only chase one of us. If he chases after you, I can run. If he doesn't, you run and call for help. Su Chuxia hesitated for a moment before making a decision. One of them had to be sacrificed. Otherwise, both of them would be finished. Being able to run and call for help was the best outcome. Run? Do you think you can escape? Yang Jiannan smiled disdainfully. With my strength as a martial master at the peak of the 10th layer, if you can escape, then my strength would be wasted. Tian Shosho ignored him and nodded secretly. She rushed out of the bed and rushed to the door. But how could Yang Jiannan let her do as she wished? With a light wave of his hand, Tian Suruan fainted and lay on the ground not far away. Ah! Su Chuxia was shocked. What did you do to Sour? Although Su Chuxia was smart and wanted to let Tian Wengchuan run away so that Yang Jiannan would have no choice but to choose someone to watch over him, she had underestimated Yang Jiannan's strength. Yang Jiannan was not an ordinary person. He was a martial master. With just a slight movement, Tian Wengchuan fainted. "Humph, I'll deal with you first, then I'll deal with her. It will save us trouble later." Yang Jiannan chuckled nonchalantly. As he spoke, he took off his pants and threw them to the side, revealing only his boxer briefs. Su Chuxia was at her wit's end. She looked at Yang Jiannan in fear. Although she was unwilling, she knew that Yang Jiannan was not an ordinary person. There was no way she could resist. "Huh, baby, here I come." Yang Jiannan reached out to take off his shorts. He could already feel the reaction from his body. It seemed that this method and the special medicine were very useful. Yang Jiannan could already imagine himself regaining his masculinity and galloping to his heart's content. However, just as he pulled down his underwear and raised his head, he suddenly realized that a black shadow had appeared in front of him. What the hell? Yang Jiannan was stunned and subconsciously took 2 steps back. He. The black shadow was in the shape of a human, but it could actually laugh eerily. This made Yang Jiannan's body tremble and he almost wet his pants. Even though he was a martial master, he was still very afraid of this kind of sudden and unknown thing. Especially, it was similar to the legendary ghosts. It made him lose interest and become a weakling. "You. What are you?" Yang Jiannan forced himself to calm down. He stared at the black fog in front of him and asked, "How dare you play tricks in front of me? I'll teach you a lesson." He. The person who came was in Xiaoma. However, he was not sure if he would be Yang Jiannan's opponent. He could only use the method of intimidation and did not attack. After all, Yang Jiannan was a martial master. After being frightened for a moment, he regained his composure. He looked at Xiaoma and said, "If you don't speak, do you believe that I won't slap you to death?" He. And Xiaoma could only let out a strange laugh again. Fire Wolf Divine Fist. Yang Jiannan swung his fist. His fist carried hot flames as it swept towards Xiaoma. At this moment, Yang Jiannan's strength as a martial master at the peak of the 10th stage was fully displayed. And Xiaoma wanted to dodge, but he was stunned when he saw the Fire Wolf Divine Fist. In the next moment, he did not dodge or dodge. Instead, he floated directly towards Yang Jiannan's fist. Boom! Yang Jiannan only felt that he had hit the air. There was no reaction. The other party did not suffer any damage, but he was heavily punched by the ghost in front of him. Although it did not reach the strength of a martial master, it was almost there. This time, he was not injured, but he was hit until he saw stars. He was horrified. What was this thing? His attack had no effect on it, but it was very effective on him. He. And Xiaoma continued to sneer, but he was laughing very happily. Previously, he was worried that he was not Yang Jiannan's opponent. However, if Yang Jiannan only knew this move, then victory was in his hands. What the hell are you? Yang Jiannan took 2 steps back in shock and looked at Xiaoma in front of him in horror. This is the ghost that I asked you to help us catch. It might have possessed me and followed us here. Even though Su Chuxia didn't know what the thing in front of her was, her instincts told her that it didn't mean any harm. In fact, it seemed to be helping her from the moment it appeared. Therefore, she came up with this excuse in a flash. This. Yang Jiannan's expression changed when he heard this. Was this thing really a ghost? Previously, he thought that someone was playing tricks on him, but now he did not think so. This thing could not hurt him, but it could hit him. If it was not a ghost, then what was it? In the face of this unknown fear, Yang Jiannan retreated a little. Even if he was given an expert of the same level, he would not be so timid. He subconsciously took 2 steps back, then turned around and left the room. He said, "I was just joking with you. It's fine." I'll hire someone to help you catch the ghost tomorrow. With that said, Yang Jiannan quickly left the room, not caring about Tian Suru and the others on the ground. Xia Shibin was a little surprised when he stumbled back to the room next door. He quickly asked, Director Yang, what's wrong? Turn on the surveillance. I want to see what it is. Yang Jiannan pointed at the TV hanging on the wall and said loudly. Ah, yes, yes. Xia Shibin did not know what was going on, but he still followed Yang Jiannan's instructions. He turned on the TV surveillance, and the image of the room next door suddenly appeared on it. Previously, Yang Jiannan did not ask to turn on the surveillance to prevent Xia Shibin from admiring him. But now, he turned it on to find out what was on the other side. Seeing Yang Jiannan leave, Su Chuxia heaved a sigh of relief. However, she really did not expect Yang Jiannan to become like this. A person could change so much. This guy actually wanted to rape her and Tian Suru. This also made Su Chuxia a little puzzled. Everyone had lived together for so long. Although they did not live in the same house, there were still many opportunities to be alone. If he wanted to commit a crime, there was no need to wait until today. What was Yang Jiannan thinking? However, these were all in the future because Su Chuxia suddenly remembered that there was a ghost-like existence in front of her. She subconsciously took a deep breath, raised her head, and looked at the ghost in front of her with trepidation. She asked, May I ask who you are? I am the boss's little brother, and Xiaoma. I am a ghost talisman demon. Don't be afraid. I am not a ghost. I am just an existence similar to a martial artist, but in a different form. And Xiaoma introduced himself. Ghost talisman demon? Then who is your boss? Su Chuxia looked at him with a strange expression. My boss is Xiao Chen. Oh, it's Xiao Chang. And Xiaoma introduced himself. Ah. Xiao Chang. Su Chuxia's expression was even more surprised. Is that Yang Jiannan? Didn't you just scare him away? That's not Xiao Chang. That's Yang Jiannan. Sigh, it's a long story. In short, there are two people. The one who was with you previously wasn't him. It was my boss, Xiao Chang. And Xiaoma said. What? That person isn't Xiao Chang? Su Chuxia's eyes widened in surprise when she heard this. At this time, Tian Wangchuan also woke up. When he heard in Xiaoma's words, he stood up happily. I knew that Xiao Chang wouldn't be like this. It turns out that he's a fake. Yes, master. Boss is on the way. He will be here soon. And Xiaoma said. Phew. Su Chuxia heaved a sigh of relief. Sure enough, there was a problem. Through this contact, she could clearly feel that the Yang Jiannan in front of her was completely different from the previous Xiao Chen. It was not that she had misjudged him, but that he was not the same person at all. Damn, so it's Xiao Chen's subordinate. Yang Jiannan looked at the monitor and slammed the table angrily. He cursed, I was scared to death. I thought it was a ghost. What kind of ghost talisman demon is it? Chapter 676. Although he had never heard of the ghost talisman devil, it was obviously just a martial artist. He did not take it seriously. However, he did not know how to deal with the ghost talisman devil. Although he was not afraid, the ghost talisman devil's attacks were quite painful. The key problem was that he could not hit the ghost talisman devil. If he punched the ghost talisman devil and nothing happened, it would be a little F***ed up. If he had gone there before, it would have been quite difficult for him to mount the ghost talisman devil. If the ghost talisman devil was behind him, he would not have the mood and interest. Thinking of this, his face was as black as the bottom of a pot. Damn, it's Xiao Chen again. This immoral person, what stupid thing did he come up with to scare me? It's really... Huh. Suddenly, Yang Jiannan slapped his thigh and ordered, Xia Shibin, help me restrain the ghost talisman devil later, and then I'll go. He. Ah. Me? Xia Shibin was stunned. No way. Something happened again? Why do I have to do this kind of rubbish every time? Damn, I didn't realize that Yang Jiannan was such a scammer. However, now that I think about it, it seems that this guy was quite a scammer in the past. He asked me to do those things. I helped him threaten Lu Junming, but it was recorded and I was scolded. Xia Shibin suddenly wanted to thank Lu Junming. Without comparison, there would be no superiority or inferiority. Now that he compared them, Shao Chen and Yang Jiannan, the two bosses, could not be mentioned in the same breath. The difference was too great. Nonsense, if it's not you, it's me. It's good enough that I let you watch a free erotic show. What else do you want? Yang Jiannan frowned. If he had a choice, he would not let Xia Shibin watch. Okay. Okay. Xia Shibin nodded helplessly, thinking that he was really unlucky. Then what are you waiting for? Yang Jiannan rubbed his palms and walked out of the room with Xia Shibin. He turned around and went to Su Chuxia's room. Seeing that Yang Jiannan had returned with Xia Shibin, Su Chuxia could not help but be shocked. She was so focused on talking to the ghost talisman devil that she forgot to escape. Even if she escaped, where could she go? Don't come over. You are not Xiao Chang. Su Chuxia looked at Yang Jiannan in fear. Hee, so what if you know? That's even better, I don't have to hide anymore. Yang Jiannan said coldly, I'm not afraid to tell you, if it wasn't for that bastard Shao Chen, would I be where I am today? You're his women, so I'm going to ravage you. How dare you? Although Su Chuxia said this, she was still putting on a brave front. Shao Chang will not let you off. You won't let me go? I won't let him off. Yang Jiannan didn't want to talk nonsense anymore. He waved his hand and ordered Xia Shibin, you go and restrain that demon for me. I'm going to make my move. Yes. Xia Shibin answered. He had no choice but to rush to the ghost talisman demon. Then, with his back to Yang Jiannan, he winked at him and mouthed to him. Although the ghost talisman devil was no match for Yang Jiannan, Xia Shibin could defeat 3 of them. Wouldn't he be killed? And Xiaoma looked at Xia Shibin, who was winking at him. He knew that this guy used to be Shao Chen's subordinate, but in the end, he was still Yang Jiannan's subordinate. What did this expression mean? What was he hinting at? Looking at his mouth, he seemed to be saying, I'm boss Shao Chen's man. I had no choice. I'm now a spy. Is he trying to fool me, or is it true? Seeing that and Xiaoma didn't seem to believe him, Xia Shibin continued to mouth, I just informed boss Shao Chen. That's why you can come so quickly. This time, and Xiaoma completely believed it. He was in Shao Chen's divine sense space. He wasn't as powerful as the elder heaven ancestor. He couldn't sense the situation outside, so he couldn't hear Xia Shibin's phone call. However, since Shao Chen knew about this, someone must have secretly informed him. This person must be Xia Shibin. Thinking of this, and Xiaoma also had a headache, so he could only make a fake move. He seemed to hit Xia Shibin very quickly, but he didn't use much strength. Xia Shibin was shocked when he saw Xiaoma rushing over aggressively, but he knew that Xiaoma had already believed him when they exchanged blows. So the two of them fought back and forth, and Yang Jiannan was ready to force himself on her again. However, as soon as he took off his underwear, he suddenly thought of a very serious problem. The little bird that had a reaction just now had calmed down again. It was worse than Noodles, which made him a little depressed. Damn, it wasn't easy for me to get the feeling just now, but I was scared by this in Xiaoma, and I suddenly withered. It's really difficult to get that feeling back now. It couldn't be helped. Even if Yang Jiannan went up like this, it wouldn't help. He was so anxious that he gritted his teeth, turned around, and began to masturbate himself to get the feeling. Su Chuxia looked at Yang Jiannan's actions and suddenly felt a little disgusted, but she was very surprised. This guy didn't come over to molest me, but he did it there. What kind of train of thought is this? As for Tian Wangshou, she was also a little puzzled. Did Yang Jiannan come here just to discuss them and show them how to masturbate himself? Although this kind of scene of masturbating in front of Xiao Chen and the other two women was a little strange, it gave Yang Jiannan a different kind of perverted excitement, making him feel that he was doing something amazing. Unexpectedly, there was really a little reaction. Yang Jiannan was suddenly overjoyed, and he quickly worked harder. Tian Wangshuo knew that he couldn't escape. Looking at Yang Jiannan's wretched behavior, he thought of a solution in his heart. After thinking about it, he suddenly saw a decorative flute on the wall of the hotel. Tian Wangshuo tiptoed over and took the flute down. Yang Jiannan heard the sound and glanced at it. He found that Tian Wangshuo went to play with the flute, but he didn't care. As long as he didn't run away, it was fine. He was at a critical moment, and he didn't have the mind to care so much. It's almost done. Su Chuxia, I'm coming soon. I'm going to make you suffer. Yang Jiannan smiled wickedly. But in the next moment, Yang Jiannan only felt a sharp pain coming from his anus. It was so painful that he screamed. He almost jumped up, and the next moment, he directly knelt on the ground. It turned out that Tian Wangshuo had directly stabbed the flute in the middle of Yang Jiannan's buttocks. Just now, there was a little reaction, but under this severe pain, Yang Jiannan completely lost that kind of thought. He was in so much pain on the ground that he wanted to die. Ah! At this time, Xia Shibin also screamed and fell to the ground with a plop. He pretended to be defeated and directly fainted. At this time, and Xiaomao could also free himself to deal with Yang Jiannan. He was also afraid that Yang Jiannan would be forced to do something desperate after being played by Tian Wangshuo. Wah, I'm going to kill you. Yang Jiannan came back to his senses. He endured the pain and stood up from the ground. His eyes were red as he stared at Tian Wangshuo, who was not far away. Today, either you die or I live. Chuxia, you see, it's really scary to be uneducated. Isn't it the same if I die or if he lives? Tian Wangshuo said to Su Chuxia. Su Chuxia was a little worried. Even though Tian Suruan's actions were a little rash, Su Chuxia could understand. Yang Jiannan was a psycho, and he might come after her next. Tian Suruan had basically saved her life. However, if that happened, Tian Wangshuo would definitely be used as a punching bag. Sure enough, Yang Jiannan stood up and approached Tian Wangshuo step by step. There was a cruel smile on the corner of his mouth, and it was very cold. However, at this time, the door was kicked open. It was Xiao Chen, who was a step late. Huh? Yang Jiannan was shocked again. He turned to look at the door and saw Xiao Chen. He couldn't help but be amused. Huh? Isn't this Xiao Chen, the White Fox hero? Why are you here? Don't you want to be a coward anymore? I thought you sent a demonic underling and didn't dare to come looking for trouble. Since you're here today, don't leave. I'll help you cripple first, then I'll let you watch me play with your woman in front of you. Who are you? Xiao Chen acted as if he didn't know Yang Jiannan. He turned to look at him. Little demon. Little demon, who is this? Why does he have a tail? Could he be the legendary little dragon man? Pfft. Tian Wangshuo was instantly amused. The flute that she had inserted into Yang Jiannan's butt was still there. Didn't Yang Jiannan seem to have a tail? Xia Shibin also found it a little funny, but he didn't dare to laugh. He could only hold it in and pretend to be dead. Don't talk so much. You're courting death. The aura on Yang Jiannan's body skyrocketed, but he was actually a little nervous. He didn't bring a gun today. It was difficult to take down Xiao Chen with just his own strength. This was because when he was dealing with a little demon, he had already revealed the strength of a great perfection 10th level magician. Once this strength was revealed, there was a time limit and it would become weaker and weaker. He had to inject the Fire Wolf potion again. Otherwise, he was definitely not Xiao Chen's opponent. Fire Wolf Divine Fist. Yang Jiannan knew that he didn't have much time, so he could only end the battle quickly. A Fire Wolf Divine Fist struck at Xiao Chen. Master, I'm coming. And little demon directly blocked in front of Yang Jiannan with a whoosh, and directly dissolved Yang Jiannan's fist. Although Yang Jiannan seemed to have hit cotton, it also eased the force. It was no longer a threat to Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen was a little puzzled. This little demon could actually block the full blow of Yang Jiannan, a great perfection 10th level magician? Okay, and little demon, you block it for me. Xiao Chen didn't have time to think about the reason behind it. He was just overjoyed. In this way, he didn't have to be afraid of Yang Jiannan's kidneys. He directly blocked in front of an little demon, and he would sneak attack from behind. Yang Jiannan's expression changed. He knew that he wouldn't be able to do anything to Xiao Chen in this way. If this dragged on for too long, his strength would deteriorate. Yang Jiannan subconsciously frowned and quickly rushed to the window of the room. He pushed the window open and leaped out. It was exactly the same as when Xiao Chen had escaped. However, not long after, the person who was fleeing in a sorry state was replaced by him. The affairs of the world were truly unpredictable. Chapter 677. Xia Shibin's heart turned cold. Motherf asterisk Ker, you left just like that. You didn't even care about me. If I wasn't a mole, I would have been killed by Xiao Chen. You're so wicked. Smoke is coming out of your mouth. Xiao Chen looked at Yang Jiannan's back and didn't chase after him. It wasn't that he couldn't catch up, but he didn't have absolute confidence in killing Yang Jiannan. Of course, he didn't know that Yang Jiannan's strength was actually fake. Chuxia, sour, I'm really sorry. I didn't expect you to look for me, so I didn't tell you that I left the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Xiao Chen looked at Su Chuxia and Tian Sour apologetically. Fortunately, nothing happened. Otherwise, he would feel guilty. Ah, it's really you. You're Xiao Chang. When Su Chuxia saw Xiao Chen, although he was different from the previous Xiao Chang, the first impression he gave her was that this person was Xiao Chang. Yes. As Xiao Chen spoke, he transformed into Xiao Chang's appearance. He smiled and returned to Xiao Chen's appearance. He said, "This is my original appearance. Xiao Chang is just a disguise." Eh? How did you do it? You can change your face without doing anything? Tian Sour was very surprised. You're too powerful, aren't you? Can you teach me? That's right. How can Sister Sour's boyfriend not be powerful? Xiao Chen smiled and said, however, this can't be taught in a short time. Let's talk about it in the future. All right. Tian Sour wasn't the kind of person who could learn patiently. Once she heard it, she didn't ask any more. She just said, fortunately, you arrived in time. Otherwise, your Sister Sour would have become someone else's. Damn, I thought you guys wouldn't come looking for me. Who would have thought? Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. You didn't tell us your new number, and you're not on Weixin. We can't contact you. You're not carrying out any missions. Why don't you come and play with us? Tian Sour glared at Xiao Chen with dissatisfaction. What kind of boyfriend are you? You've already confessed to Sister Sour. You should be accompanying Sister Sour. Don't tell me you've fallen in love with someone else. As for that Weixin, I've already said that she registered temporarily during a mission. Of course, I won't need to use it when I get back. Xiao Chen explained, as for the phone number, I didn't expect Yang Jiannan to not die and come back, so I took the number back. Xiao Chen didn't respond to Tian Suruan's last sentence. He didn't know how to respond to it, so he just let it pass. Really, let's hurry up and leave this place. That Yang Jiannan will definitely not let this matter rest. What if he brings people over? Tian Shosho was somewhat worried. Xiao Chen's heart skipped a beat. Indeed, Yang Jiannan wouldn't just let this go. He hesitated for a moment and looked at Xia Shibin, who had already climbed up from the ground. He asked, did Yang Jiannan go back to get people? I don't know. Most likely. Let's hurry up and leave. Xia Shibin said, when the time comes, just tell him that I'm being held hostage by you. My car is downstairs. Xiao Chen nodded. Su Chuxia and Tian Shosho were both wearing thermal underwear. They didn't change into their hotel pajamas. The weather was very cold, so Yang Jiannan didn't see any advantage. The two of them quickly put on their clothes and followed Xiao Chen and Xia Shibin downstairs to the hotel's parking lot. Yang Jiannan was quite unlucky. Although he knew that his car was in the underground parking lot, he didn't go back to get it. Don't forget that he was still running naked. There were security guards in the parking lot. It would be embarrassing if he went there. He could only run as fast as he could, planning to return to the dormitory first. Fortunately, it was night time and no one saw them. However, he already hated Xiao Chen to the core. He wanted to get rid of him as soon as possible. After getting in the car, Xiao Chen finally had the time to ask Su Chuxia and Tian Shosho, "It's Chinese New Year. Why are you guys looking for me? You're not just here to play with me, right?" "Of course not. Chuxia's new house is haunted." Tian Shosho said, "Aren't you from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? I was thinking of asking you to help me catch the ghost, so I made a call." That Yang Jiannan agreed immediately and asked us to go find him. Then Tian Wangshou explained the purpose of his visit and the haunting situation in his house. "Gosh, your vigilance is really low." Xiao Chen didn't know what to say. "Who told you to tell us that your name is Yang Jiannan?" Tian Shosho was a little dissatisfied. "We almost got into trouble because of this. You have to make it up to me and Chuxia." "How can I make it up to you?" Xiao Chen thought about it. This incident was indeed caused by his negligence. "Continue to be our bodyguard," Tian Shosho said. "That haunted house is too scary." This. Xiao Chen suddenly had a headache. Being a bodyguard. "I have my own things to do. I can't stay in Lan City for a long time." "You don't have to stay for a long time. As long as it's not haunted, you can leave." From Tian Shosho's point of view, the haunted house wasn't that easy to solve. If he stayed here, he might settle down permanently. "Alright, but it's Chinese New Year now. I can't leave home. Let's wait until after Chinese New Year. I'll go find you guys." Xiao Chen thought about it and agreed. Whether it was to make it up to them or to simply ask for help from a friend, Xiao Chen couldn't just ignore it. What exactly is the haunted house? Xiao Chen had the ghost talisman devil head and met some and evil cultivators. Naturally, he didn't believe in the haunted house. If there were really ghosts, they would stay in hell. Why would they appear here? Perhaps there was an evil cultivator causing trouble here. In order to achieve a certain goal, he deliberately scared people and made them afraid. However, since this or evil cultivator didn't kill anyone, it wasn't a heinous crime. Xiao Chen planned to meet him after the Chinese New Year. "Then where are we going during Chinese New Year?" Tian Shosho didn't dare to go back. "How about this, I'll let in Little Demon accompany you guys back first. He himself is something like a ghost. If you encounter other ghosts, he can protect you. Even if the other party isn't a ghost and is pretending to be a ghost, he can still protect you." Xiao Chen thought about it and said, "That's more like it." Tian Shosho was happy when he heard it. This and Little Demon looked very powerful. Even Yang Jiannan was afraid of him. If they encountered ghosts, he could probably restrain them. "It's not safe to stay here for long. Xia Shibin, send them to the airport now and take the plane back tomorrow morning." Xiao Chen was afraid that Yang Jiannan would cause more trouble, so it was better to let them leave early. "Okay." Xia Shibin drove the car in the direction of the airport. Because of Xia Shibin's special identity, he didn't have to spend much effort to buy 2 tickets for tomorrow morning. It was someone else's refunded ticket, so he took it immediately. Yang Jiannan returned to the headquarters dormitory. Fortunately, no one saw his embarrassing state at the moment. The more he thought about it, the more unhappy he became. After thinking about it, he dialed Xia Zhili's number. He felt that Xiao Chen had fooled Xia Zhili for so long, so he should hate Xiao Chen. He wanted to cooperate with Xia Zhili and continue to arrest Xiao Chen at tomorrow's meeting. Although it was Xia Zhili who advocated to cancel the arrest warrant for Xiao Chen, Yang Jiannan thought that Xia Zhili didn't listen to him, so Xia Zhili deliberately discussed him. Xia Zhili let out a long roar and walked out of the practice room. Just as he was about to take a hot shower, his phone rang. He picked it up and saw that it was Yang Jiannan. This was really a rare guest. Yang Jiannan hadn't called him since he returned. Deputy Bureau Chief Yang, it's so late. What's the matter? Xia Zhili picked up the phone indifferently with a businesslike attitude. Deputy Bureau Chief Xia, it's like this. Previously, my strength improved because of hatred. I was a little muddle-headed. I might have been a little disrespectful to you. Please don't take it to heart. Yang Jiannan could only compromise temporarily in order to cooperate. Xia Zhili didn't believe that Yang Jiannan had really changed. A dog can't stop eating sh*t. This guy was like a weasel paying respects to a chicken. I'm afraid he was hiding something. Oh, Deputy Bureau Chief Yang is now on the same level as me. You don't need to explain anything to me. Even so, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia was my guide before. Now that I'm powerful, I naturally can't forget Deputy Bureau Chief Xia. I want to cooperate with Deputy Bureau Chief Xia. What do you think? Yang Jiannan didn't hear the sarcasm in Xia Zhili's words. He thought that Xia Zhili knew his position. Since he knew that the two of them were on the same level, it was easy. Xia Zhili wanted to curse. There really was something. However, he still said indifferently, what cooperation? Deputy Bureau Chief Yang, tell me. It's like this. Xiao Chen just, actually insulted me. I'm going to propose at tomorrow's meeting to put Xiao Chen on the wanted list again. I hope Deputy Bureau Chief Xia will support me. Yang Jiannan said. What? Xiao Chen is back. Xia Zhili was stunned. He suddenly felt a little surprised. Isn't your strength much higher than Xiao Chen's? Why would he insult you? Sigh, it's hard to explain. Yang Jiannan rolled his eyes and came up with an excuse. Isn't it because Xiao Chen had two mistresses in Lan City previously? They were Su Chuxia and Tian Soran, whom he was protecting during the mission. These two people came to play with me. I thought that I restored my identity as Yang Jiannan. Although I wasn't the one who completed the mission, if I said too much, the Supernatural Investigation Bureau would lose face in the eyes of outsiders. Letting someone impersonate me for so long is really, and then? Xia Zhili didn't want to listen to his explanation. He just wanted to know what happened. Then they came and wanted to sleep with me. I thought they had slept with Xiao Chen before, so I couldn't reject them. So. Yang Jiannan smiled bitterly. Just as I was about to go into battle, Xiao Chen appeared and ambushed me. I had no choice but to come back first, Xia Zhili sneered in his heart. You put it in a dignified manner, but you just wanted to play with Xiao Chen's woman. In the end, you were discovered by Xiao Chen, so they fought. You still want to ask me for help with such a bullsh*t matter? Chapter 678. Oh, then what do you want? Xia Zhili asked faintly. He now hated Yang Jiannan more and more. Tomorrow, as long as Deputy Bureau Chief Xia supports me, I will also support Deputy Bureau Chief Xia in other matters in the future as an exchange. How about it? Yang Jiannan promised. F***ck your mother. Xia Zhili almost cursed. Previously, you were my subordinate. I took care of you everywhere. Not only are you not grateful, you even want to exchange conditions with me. In the end, it was still 1 for 1. Do you think I am stupid? What if I don't support? Xia Zhili changed the topic. He really had no interest in talking nonsense with Yang Jiannan. Don't support? Deputy Bureau Chief Xia, you should know that if I go to form an alliance with Song Billion, he should be very happy, right? Yang Jiannan said faintly, at that time, you will be in a difficult position. Be careful that you won't be able to be the deputy bureau chief. You. Xia Zhili was really angry this time. He said angrily, Song Huawu was injured by you, and you still want to form an alliance with Song Billion? Are you dreaming, Yang Jiannan? There is no eternal enemy. I just need to apologize and promise Song Billion to marry Song Huawu. Then, won't he form an alliance with me? Yang Jiannan underestimated Song Huawu's true identity. He felt that with his current status, it was easy to marry Song Huawu. Xia Zhili took a deep breath and finally asked, then, how do you want to cooperate? It's very simple. Restore Xiao Chen's wanted order, and then cancel the punishment for Xia Shibin. With both of our support, it shouldn't be too difficult, right? Yang Jiannan suggested. Let me think. Xia Zhili hesitated for a moment and said. Okay, then I will wait for your call. Yang Jiannan said with a smile, however, if I fall asleep later, I won't be able to hear it. When I go to Song Billion in a daze tomorrow morning, I won't be able to control myself. Hee hee. Wait for my call. Xia Zhili said coldly. After calming down for a moment, Xia Zhili dialed Xiao Chen's phone. Xiao Chen, you're back? Xia Zhili asked. Yes, Deputy Director Xia. Something happened here. Su Chuxia and Tian Suruan came looking for me, and they found Yang Jiannan. Xiao Chen didn't finish his sentence. He believed that Xia Zhili already had a basic understanding of the situation. Yes, I understand. Don't be in a hurry to leave, Xia Zhili said. Xiao Chen was stunned, but he still said, okay, wait for me to send them back, then I will visit Deputy Director Xia. Wait for my call. Xia Zhili hung up the phone, took a deep breath, and dialed Yang Jiannan's number. Deputy Bureau Chief Yang, come over now. I'll wait for you at home. Huh, good, a wise man submits to circumstances. Deputy Director Xia, I'll go over now. Yang Jiannan laughed. He was very happy that Xia Zhili had made a decision in such a short time. This meant that Xia Zhili was afraid, so he quickly compromised. Okay, I'll wait for you. Xia Zhili said. Because the dormitory area of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau wasn't far away, Yang Jiannan quickly arrived at Xia Zhili's residence. Each of them had their own villa. It wasn't because they lived luxuriously, but because they were all cultivators. They needed their own territory to cultivate, and they didn't want to be disturbed when they cultivated. That was why they built so many villas. Deputy Bureau Chief Xia. Yang Jiannan looked at Xia Zhili's dark expression and smiled. He didn't care what Xia Zhili was feeling. His ambition had reached a certain level. In his opinion, Ling Tian was about to retire. The position of Deputy Bureau Chief was going to be his sooner or later. When that time came, Xia Zhili would be his subordinate. Come in, Deputy Bureau Chief Yang. Xia Zhili nodded and made a gesture to invite him in. However, his attitude was very cold. Yang Jiannan didn't mind. He didn't even change his shoes. He walked into Xia Zhili's living room and sat on the sofa. He picked up a drink from the coffee table and started drinking. Xia. Yang Jiannan only managed to say one word before his eyes widened. He didn't expect Xia Zhili to make a move on him. A killing move was coming at him, causing Yang Jiannan's heart to skip a beat. He hurriedly threw down the can in his hand and leaped backwards. Xia Zhili, are you crazy? I'm not crazy. Xia Zhili said calmly. You're the one who's crazy. Let me send you off to hell. Xia Zhili said, but his hands didn't stop. He sent a punch towards Yang Jiannan's face. F***ck, old thing, are you crazy? Yang Jiannan was also angry. He snorted coldly. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Fire Wolf God Fist. Xia Zhili didn't dodge or dodge. Instead, he sent a punch forward. The two fists collided, creating a loud bang. Of course, outside the soundproof villa, it was very hard to hear. Even if someone heard it, they wouldn't think much of it. They would only think that someone was training. Boom! Yang Jiannan was sent flying and slammed heavily into the wall. Xia Zhili also spat out a mouthful of blood. He took a few steps back before he managed to dissipate the force of Yang Jiannan's punch. Old thing, you're actually a martial general? Yang Jiannan's eyes widened in disbelief. After he returned home, he had been injected with the fire wolf medicine. His condition and strength were at their peak. He didn't expect Xia Zhili to, that's right. Although Xia Zhili didn't seem to have any major problems on the surface, he had actually suffered serious internal injuries. If he hadn't just broken through to the martial general realm and was at the same level as Yang Jiannan, he wouldn't have been Yang Jiannan's match. This guy's strength was actually stronger than someone at the same level. This surprised Xia Zhili. At the same time, he was glad that he hadn't acted rashly before. You dare kill me? Why? Yang Jiannan was somewhat unwilling. He could feel the life force in his body slipping away rapidly. He didn't die immediately because the fire wolf medicine hadn't lost its effect yet. It was still working in his body, allowing his body to maintain a tyrannical state. That was why he was barely hanging on. Shao Chen's extraterrestrial ink meteorite, give it to me. Xia Zhili laughed heartily. In my eyes, you're a traitor who only benefits him. In my eyes, Shao Chen is a friend. You actually. Yang Jiannan's body trembled, and he died with his eyes wide open. Xia Zhili took a deep breath and slowly sat on the sofa. He adjusted his breathing for a while before he heaved a sigh of relief. Although he couldn't make a full recovery immediately, it wasn't a big deal. At the very least, his life wouldn't be in danger. Xia Zhili picked up his phone and dialed Shao Chen's number again. Where are you? I just sent Su Chuxia and Tian Yoshi through the airport security. I'm on my way back with Xia Shibin. Shall I visit you now? Shao Chen said. Okay. You guys can come over now. Xia Zhili hung up after he finished speaking. Me? Go where? Shao Chen was stunned. He looked at Xia Shibin. Do you know where Deputy Director Xia's house is? I do. Yang Jiannan brought me there before. Shall we go now? But, what if Yang Jiannan comes looking for us? Xia Shibin was worried. I don't think so. Xia Zhili can't betray us. Shao Chen shook his head. He had high hopes for Xia Zhili. Although he was a snobbish person, he wasn't a bad person. Xia Shibin nodded. He drove Shao Chen to the dormitory area of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau and stopped in front of Xia Zhili's villa. The two of them came to the villa and pressed the doorbell. However, no one answered. Just as the two of them were confused, Xia Zhili's weak voice came from inside. The door isn't locked. Come in. It turned out that when Yang Jiannan came, Xia Zhili didn't lock the door. With the security of this area, there shouldn't be any thieves. The reason why Shao Chen and Shao Chen could enter was because the car belonged to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau and Xia Shibin showed his identification. The two of them were puzzled. They pushed the door open and saw Xia Zhili resting on the sofa. His chest was covered in blood. Not far away, there was a corpse on the ground. It was Yang Jiannan. Shao Chen was shocked. Deputy Chief Xia, what's going on? Are you injured? Yes. I didn't expect Yang Jiannan to be so capable. If I hadn't broken through to the martial general level, I would have fallen. Xia Zhili sighed. Shao Chen, you're still Yang Jiannan tomorrow. I killed that bastard. However, I can't restore your identity for now. When you've established yourself, I'll think of a way to restore your identity. Shao Chen suddenly felt a surge of emotion in his heart. Although he had treated Xia Zhili well, not only helping him earn merits, but also giving him a piece of the outer star ink meteorite. These were basically what he should have done after concealing his identity. However, Xia Zhili had actually killed Yang Jiannan for him. Of course, Xia Zhili had his own reasons for doing this, but the main reason was still for Shao Chen. Therefore, Shao Chen remembered this kindness in his heart. In the future, if Xia Zhili needed anything, he would do his best to help. Deputy Director Xia, thank you. Shao Chen took a deep breath and said heavily. It's nothing. This guy acted tough in front of me as soon as he came back. He didn't put me in his eyes at all. I wanted to kill him for a long time. However, I wasn't a marshal general before, so I didn't have absolute confidence. So, I temporarily endured it. Now, it seems that I endured it. Xia Zhili sighed. You two deal with the corpse. Xia Shibin, you're considered one of us now. From now on, follow Shao Chen. Yes, father. Xia Shibin was also very excited. Yang Jiannan, that idiot, was finally dead. If he didn't die, he would go crazy. He always made him do this and that, and the key was that he was the scapegoat when something happened. If Yang Jiannan didn't die, sooner or later, Xia Shibin would die. For the people of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, getting rid of a corpse without anyone knowing was a piece of cake. Xia Shibin could do it easily. However, when he was about to move the corpse into the car, Shao Chen waved his hand and said, "Wait." Chapter 679. Ah. Xia Shibin was surprised. What's wrong, Brother Shao? It's nothing, wait for me. Shao Chen said as he took Yang Jiannan's corpse to the MPV alone. Then he asked the Elder Heaven Ancestor, why did you ask me to wait? In fact, it was not Shao Chen who wanted to stop Xia Shibin, but the Elder Heaven Ancestor suddenly reminded Shao Chen to leave the corpse behind. You can transform into his appearance, but with your current strength, you can't really change your appearance. It's just an external influence, but it's ineffective against those high-tech monitoring devices. The Elder Heaven Ancestor said slowly, this way, it's easy to be exposed, but you have a compromise. Oh? What is it? Shao Chen was slightly surprised. Peel off the skin of Yang Jiannan's face, put it on your face, and use your yuan qi to nourish it. This will ensure the vitality of the skin. After wearing it, it will be lifelike, and there won't be any jerkiness. Compared to other people's skin masks, yours is more realistic. The Elder Heaven Ancestor said, it's just a bit cruel. I didn't tell you before because there's no need, and there's no condition. Now that the corpse is here, you can take his face for yourself. Oh. There's such a method. Shao Chen was surprised, but he didn't feel the slightest bit of pity, because Yang Jiannan deserved to die. Even if he were to dismember his body into 1,000 pieces, it wouldn't be excessive, let alone just cutting off a layer of skin. Shao Chen didn't say anything, he directly pulled out his flying sword and easily cut off the skin of Yang Jiannan's face. The blood on it was evaporated by yuan qi, turning into nothing. He put it on his face, and sure enough, Shao Chen didn't feel any discomfort. Instead, he felt as if it was his own face. Under the effect of yuan qi, it instantly fused into one. Not bad. Shao Chen touched his face with satisfaction. It seemed that even the seams were perfectly fused. This was really a good thing. A ball of true samadhi fire was thrown out. What surprised Shao Chen was that Yang Jiannan's corpse was instantly incinerated by the true samadhi fire. Previously, even the underworld fire had no effect on him. But after he died, the true samadhi fire could easily extinguish him. Xia Shibin shook his head and turned to get out of the car. However, Shao Chen's appearance shocked Xia Shibin. Ah! Xia Shibin screamed and stared at Shao Chen in horror. Yang Jiannan, how are you alive? It's me. Shao Chen said, I'm naturally going to turn into Yang Jiannan's appearance. Shao Chen didn't say anything about being thick-skinned, because Xia Shibin wouldn't understand even if he did. Oh. Xia Shibin suddenly breathed a sigh of relief and nodded. Sure enough, he saw that Xiao Chen was wearing the same clothes as before. He couldn't help but smile bitterly. That's true. What about Yang Jiannen's corpse? I burned it. It's safer this way. Xiao Chen said. That's right. Xia Shibin thought that Xiao Chen didn't let him get in the car because he was afraid of burning him. He didn't think much and said, then let's go back. Deputy Bureau Chief Xia seems to be injured. Xiao Chen nodded and walked into the villa with Xia Shibin. Xia Zhili was still sitting on the sofa, maintaining the previous posture without moving. When he saw Xiao Chen's appearance, he was also stunned, but he quickly reacted and nodded. Not bad. In the future, you should show this appearance in front of us. Is it settled? It's burned. Xiao Chen walked over quickly. Deputy Bureau Chief Xia, are you injured? Let me help you take a look. It's okay. I won't die. I just need to rest for a while. Xia Zhili shook his head. Xiao Chen smiled slightly and reached out to hold Xia Zhili's pulse. Xia Zhili was suddenly shocked. Just as he wanted to say something, he felt a warm feeling flowing into his meridians, quickly healing his injuries. This change made him even more shocked. Previously, he was shocked because he was worried. Now, he was shocked because he was surprised. Xiao Chen actually had this kind of ability. Although Xia Shibin didn't know what happened, he didn't want to disturb him. He just stayed by the side. After about an hour, Xiao Chen finished healing his wounds. He loosened his hands and pretended to be exhausted as he laid down on the side. Xia Zhili, on the other hand, was glowing. He felt that all the injuries in his body had healed. Good, good, good. Xia Zhili said good 3 times. No one knew if he was talking about Xiao Chen or his own injuries. Xiao Chen, you are really a person who is worthy of my trust and cooperation. I, Xia Zhili, may be a bit snobbish, but I will never let people who treat me sincerely down. I have seen what you have done during this time. You are 100,000 times stronger than Yang Jiannan. Deputy Bureau Chief Xia, I am already very grateful that you can help me solve this trouble. Xiao Chen was indeed very grateful to Xia Zhili. Even if he could kill Yang Jiannan himself, without Xia Zhili's cover and help, I am afraid that the matter would be exposed sooner or later. But now it was different. As long as Xia Zhili didn't say anything, probably no one in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau would find out for the time being. Even if they found out, there would be no evidence. Let's not talk about this. We are in the same boat in the future. Xia Zhili said, well, it's almost time. Let's go to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau together. Today is a routine meeting. Okay. Xiao Chen nodded and said, but I have to change my clothes and be more formal. Hee, that is also true. Xia Zhili smiled and said, I also want to take a bath. Let's go together. Together? Xiao Chen's face suddenly became a little strange. Xia Zhili is not good in that aspect. Will he start to be a submissive? As soon as this thought came out, Xiao Chen suddenly had a cold sweat. I have several bathrooms in this villa. What are you thinking about? Xia Zhili couldn't help but shake his head. He patted Xiao Chen and said, let's go. Don't dawdle. Xia Shibin, go to Yang Jiannan's house and get a few clothes. Yes. Xia Shibin was Yang Jiannan's confidant. He was often ordered to do this and that. Naturally, he had the key to his house. At this moment, it was convenient. After packing up and putting on new clothes, the 3 of them took a business car to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Everyone saw Yang Jiannan and Xia Zhili walking together again. They were a little surprised about this matter, but everyone also understood that there was no eternal enemy. No one knew what kind of consensus they had in secret. Song Billion also saw this scene from afar. He couldn't help but frown. This Yang Jiannan finally saw the situation clearly. Is he ready to reunite with Xia Zhili? After hesitating for a moment, Song Bilian walked over and greeted, "Isn't this Deputy Bureau Chief Yang?" "Why?" "In today's meeting, do you plan to issue a wanted order for Xiao Chen?" Previously, Yang Jianan had the intention to issue a wanted order for Xiao Chen again. Song Bilian naturally knew it because Yang Jianan had more or less hinted at it in the previous meeting, but it didn't get everyone's approval. Today, Yang Jianan and Xia Zhili walked together again, so Song Bilian wanted to test the situation to see if they had reached a consensus. Issue a wanted order for Xiao Chen? Why is he wanted? Isn't he fine now? Song Bilian, is there something wrong with your brain? Xiao Chen said coldly. That expression, that tone, was exactly the same as the pretentious Yang Jianan from before. Who didn't know how to act like a spoiled brat? In the past, Xiao Chen was the best at it. At this moment, it was easy and fun for him to act like that. Humph. Song Bilian snorted coldly. Since he couldn't get an answer, he turned around and left. Very quickly, everyone entered the meeting room. It was still the Deputy Bureau Chief of Ling Tian who presided over the meeting. Xia Zhili, Song Bilian, Yang Jianan, and Deputy Bureau Chief Zhang were present. All right, some of the work arrangements for the holiday period are still progressing in an orderly manner. Nothing unexpected happened. This is good news. Ling Tian reported. Next, does anyone have any suggestions? I suggest that we stop the investigation on Xia Shibin. This is a misunderstanding. Since Xiao Chen is fine, then let's end it. I won't pursue the matter of Xiao Chen pretending to be me anymore. Xiao Chen said directly. I agree. Before Song Bilian could say anything, Xia Zhili said directly. Song Bilian was stunned. He wanted to retort but he couldn't figure out the intentions of these two people. Didn't Yang Jianan hate Xiao Chen to the bone? Why did he suddenly give up on the idea of a wanted criminal? Could it be that he compromised with Xia Zhili in exchange for Xia Shibin's safety? However, Yang Jianan didn't seem like someone who cared about his subordinates. Furthermore, even if he didn't pursue the matter of Xiao Chen, what good would it do to Xia Zhili? In the past, he argued with Yang Jianan because he couldn't stand him. In fact, he even supported Xia Zhili's decision. Xiao Chen and Xia Zhili didn't have much of a relationship. The two of them wouldn't have any interactions in the future. Song Bilian didn't think that Yang Jianan would be able to gain Xia Zhili's support just by compromising on this matter. Thinking up to this point, Song Bilian didn't say anything rashly. If he spoke up now and Xia Zhili brought up something in the future, he wouldn't be able to continue rejecting him. Could it be that they did this on purpose? First, he released a meaningless matter for everyone to discuss, and then he made a big move? Thinking up to this point, Song Bilian calmly said, no problem, I support. From the way he saw it, whether or not they stopped the investigation on Xia Shibin had nothing to do with him. As for Xiao Chen, it had nothing to do with him at all. Thus, he casually expressed his support. Okay, since all three of us are in favor, it's 3-2. It doesn't matter how Vice Bureau Chief Zhang and I vote. This matter is decided. Ling Tian nodded his head and made the final decision. Is there anything else? I don't have anything else. Xiao Chen shook his head. I don't have anything else either. Xia Zhili said. Song Bilian thought that Xia Zhili would propose something beneficial to him, but he didn't expect that he didn't. How was this possible? Then why did he support Yang Jianan? This didn't make sense. You're tuning in to the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.